Hey coin lovers, or maybe just people who accidentally found a weird penny in their couch and Googled, is this worth a fortune? Either way, welcome. You're in the right place because today we're talking about a single penny that might be hiding in your change jar right now and it's worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Yup. You heard that right. 1.1 million. For a coin that literally says 1 cent on it. Makes you want to dig through every penny you've ever tossed aside, doesn't it now, before you sprint to your piggy bank like a kid who just heard the ice cream truck? Hang tight. Because in the next 40 minutes I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know about the legendary 1969 D. Lincoln penny. What makes it so valuable, how to spot it, what mistakes people make when trying to sell it, and yep, I've got a personal story that might just make you laugh and cry at the same time, so grab your coffee or your favorite drink, maybe even a magnifying glass, and let's dive into the wild world of the $1 million penny. This little copper guy was minted in Denver, that's what the D stands for, and like millions of other pennies, it features our good friend Honest Abe Lincoln on the front. Pretty standard looking coin, right? Same color, same shape. Same expression on Abe's face, like he just found out how much a loaf of bread costs in 2025 inches. Rare cases, a very limited number of these 1969 D pennies were struck with a major error that makes them worth a small fortune. We're talking a double die error where the lettering on the front of the coin appears twice and slightly offset, making it look kind of like it's vibrating from excitement or caffeine. You'll notice it especially on the words Liberty and In God We Trust. If you can see a clear doubling there, not just a shadow or blur, but actual doubled letters, then congratulations, you might be holding on to one of the rarest and most valuable modern pennies ever made. Not many. We're talking just a handful known to exist, which is what makes them so valuable. You've got better odds of winning a game of Monopoly with your eyes closed than finding one, but hey, someone's gotta win, right? A couple of years ago I was at a yard sale. Not looking for coins at all, just trying to score an old lava lamp and maybe some records, because why not? I'm retro like that. And this guy at the sale, he had a coffee can full of pennies. I ask him how much for the whole can, he goes, give me $1 and take it. I'm like, cool, I'll find a couple wheat pennies, maybe a 1943 steel cent, and feel fancy. Fast forward a week, I'm sorting through the pennies watching TV, not expecting much, and boom, I see this shiny reddish penny dated 1969. My heart skips. Then I see the little D mint mark. My heart skips again. I grab my loupe like a total nerd and zoom in. Was it the $1 million one? Sadly no. It was clean. No doubling. Just your average 1 cent coin worth exactly 1 cent, but you know what, that moment of maybe that electric second of what if, it's why we do this, alright. So how do you know for sure if your penny is the big one? First thing, take a close look at the obverse. That's the fancy term for the front of the coin. Look especially at the date, the word Liberty and In God We Trust. If those letters look doubled, you might be onto something, but don't freak out yet. The true $1 million 1969 D double die penny has sharp, distinct doubling. Not fuzzy, not ghostly, not kinda sorta. We're talking clear enough to read without squinting, like you just walked out of a dark movie theater. The most valuable version doesn't just have doubling, it also has to be in excellent condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers meaning better condition. That $1 million price tag only applies to coins graded super high like MS65 or above. If you find a damaged version or one that's all scratched up, it still might be worth hundreds or even thousands, but probably not $1 million. Still better than a cup of gas though, right and clean. It seriously, don't touch it with Brillo pads or toothpaste or whatever TikTok tells you. Coins are like vintage jeans. The more natural the better. Take it to a reputable coin dealer, or better yet, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and give it a proper grade. Get ready to either cry tears of joy or frustration. Either way, it'll be a story you tell for years. At Thanksgiving. Every year. Whether people want to hear it or not, as of right now, the most pristine examples of the 1969 D double die penny have sold for over $1.1 million at auction. That's a house in some parts of the country, or at least a studio apartment in San Francisco. Even slightly lower grade versions have fetched tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands. So yeah, it's kind of a big deal. People still find them in circulation, not every day, but it's happened. And it's not just this penny, there are hundreds of coins out there with rare errors that could make you rich if you know what to look for. Which brings me to my favorite part of this whole hobby. Whether you're a hardcore collector or just someone who found a weird coin in your laundry, it's all about that little hit of excitement, the mystery, the possibility that your next handful of change might be the one. You don't have to be an expert, you just have to be curious and maybe a little lucky. Alright, my coin curious friends, if you've made it this far, give yourself a round of applause. Or at least a gentle self-five. The 1969 D Lincoln penny is more than just a coin. It's a reminder that sometimes the most valuable things are hiding in plain sight. In a world where we overlook the small stuff, this little copper coin proves that every detail matters, so the next time you get change at the grocery store or dig through your old piggy bank, take a second look. That plain-looking penny might just be your golden ticket. And hey, if you liked this video, if you learned something, if you laughed, or if you're now tearing apart your car looking for old pennies, hit that subscribe button. We're all about helping regular people like you find coins worth serious money, and I've got plenty more stories, tips, and strategies to share that could help you turn pocket change into life-changing cash. Hey folks, have you ever had one of those days where you find a penny on the ground and think, hey, it's just a penny, not even worth bending over for? Well, what if I told you that tiny copper coin could be worth more than a Ferrari? Yeah, I said it. Imagine finding a 1980 penny in your couch cushions only to discover it's worth $1.2 million. That's not pocket change, my friend, that's I'm buying a house in cash kind of money. So buckle up, because today we're diving into the wild world of the 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny, the kind of penny that makes you say, wait, what? Why? We're gonna break it all down. What makes this penny so special? How can you tell if you have one? And yep, I'm even gonna share a real life story about the time I nearly spent a rare penny on a vending machine snack. Spoiler alert, regret is a dish best served in copper. Alright, so first up, let's talk about what exactly we're dealing with here. The 1980 Lincoln penny, the one with Honest Abe chillin' on the front. You've seen it a million times, but here's the thing, not all 1980 pennies are created equal. Most have a little letter under the year. That letter is a mint mark. It tells you where the coin was made, like D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But if you've got one with NO mint mark, that means it was minted in Philadelphia. Most Philly pennies from 1980 aren't worth more than a cent, maybe two, if someone's feeling generous at a garage sale, but in some extremely rare cases, due to minting errors and unusual metal composition, a very tiny batch of no mint mark 1980 pennies came out with incredibly rare traits. These traits make coin collectors foam at the mouth in excitement, and we're not talking a few bucks here, we're talking $1.2 million. That's right, a single 1980 penny with no mint mark once sold at auction for a whopping $1.2 million. First, the material. Some of these rare 1980 no mint mark pennies were struck on the wrong planchet. A planchet is the blank metal disc that becomes the coin, so instead of being struck on the standard copper-coated zinc planchet, a few were accidentally stamped on bronze planchets left over from the 1970s. That's like finding a limited edition toy inside a cereal box from the wrong decade. Next, errors. We're talking off-center strikes, double dies, missing details, coins that look like they were made on a Monday morning before the coffee kicked in. These kinds of quirks are like gold to collectors. Your penny can't look like it went through a blender. You want crisp details, full rim, no scratches, shiny enough to reflect your future fortune. Professional coin grading services like PCGS or NGC can rate your coin on a scale from 1 to 70. If your 1980 no mint mark penny gets graded over 65 and has any of those rare traits, oh buddy, you're looking at serious cheddar. A few years ago, I was digging through my old change jar, you know, the one you dump all your coins in at the end of the day. It had everything: quarters, nickels, Canadian coins, Chuck E. Cheese tokens, the usual. I came across a 1980 penny. It looked clean, real clean, and I noticed, hey, no mint mark, that's weird. I almost tossed it in a Coinstar machine, but something told me to check it out, so I googled it and my jaw nearly hit the floor. I sent it off to be graded, and while it didn't end up being the $1 million version, it still came back worth a couple $100. Not bad for something I almost used to buy a Twix. That moment sparked my coin collecting journey, and let me tell you, it's been wild. They're in your pockets, your drawers, your car cup holders. Some of them are worth more than your car. You don't have to be a numismatist, fancy word for coin nerd, to get into this. You just need curiosity and maybe a magnifying glass. Think of coin collecting like treasure hunting, but with less pirate hats and more awkward squinting. Go through your change jars, you know you've got one. Check the date and mint mark. If there's no letter under 1980, congrats, you've got a no mint mark. Look for weird stuff, double lines in the letters, unusual color or weight. Anything off. Weight. A regular 1980 penny should be about 2.5 grams. If it weighs over 3 grams, you might have a rare bronze one. Get it graded. If it looks like a winner, send it in for professional evaluation. If you've got a common 1980 penny no mint mark in worn condition, it's worth exactly 1 cent, but if you've got one in pristine condition with errors or the wrong metal planchet, you could be sitting on a coin worth thousands to over $1 million. As of now, April 2025, the current record for a rare 1980 no mint mark penny sold at auction is $1.2 million. That's not a made-up number, that's cold hard fact backed by real coin sales. Imagine what you could do with that: buy a house, travel the world, open a taco truck, because why not? One, never underestimate a penny. 2, always check your change before dumping it in a vending machine. And 3, a little bit of curiosity could turn your spare change into a small fortune. Now, if you've enjoyed this wild ride through the world of valuable pennies, do me a solid and drop a comment telling me the weirdest or oldest coin you've ever found. I might just feature your story in a future video. This channel is all about helping regular people like you uncover the hidden treasures in everyday coins, so stay tuned because there's plenty more where this came from. Hey there, coin hunters and couch change checkers. Quick question: when was the last time you actually looked at a penny? No, really, looked at it. If you're like most people, you toss it in a jar, drop it in your car cup holder, or let it rattle around your dryer for a week. But what if I told you that one of those dusty little copper fellas could be worth $1.3 million? Yeah, you heard that right. 1.3 million smackaroos. For a single Lincoln penny. Stick around, because today, we're diving deep into the wild world of the 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that's shocking collectors and making regular folks suddenly very interested in pocket change. Oh, and I've got a personal story involving an old couch, a slice of pizza, and a penny that'll make you check your cushions tonight. Let's go. Alright, let's roll back the calendar to 2001. Destiny's Child was topping the charts, flip phones were high-tech, and gas was cheap enough to make you cry today. And in the middle of all that early 2000s chaos, the US Mint produced hundreds of millions of pennies. Most were nothing special. But some of them, some very rare ones, escaped the mint without a mark. Now usually, pennies minted in Philadelphia around that time didn't carry a mint mark. But here's the kicker, there's one particular batch from 2001 that had a specific die variation, microscopic differences, and a double die error that made it as rare as finding a unicorn wearing Crocs. These rare 2001 no-mint mark pennies are showing up in the collector world and, when in top condition, selling for up to $1.3 million at auction. That's enough for a fancy house, a couple of Teslas, and maybe a few more tacos than you should eat. So what exactly makes this coin so dang valuable? Well, it comes down to a few things: condition, rarity, and errors. First up, condition. The $1.3 million versions of this penny are in what's called MS-70 condition. That's mint state perfection. No scratches, no fingerprints, not even a speck of lint. It basically has to look like it just rolled off the press and into the hands of a very lucky human with gloves on. Next, rarity. Only a few of these error coins have been found, and even fewer in that perfect condition. They were most likely the result of a limited die issue at the Philadelphia Mint that year, which means only a tiny fraction of coins escaped with the magic combo, no mint mark and a rare double die. And finally, error. The ones worth big money typically have what's known as a double die obverse. That's when the image of Lincoln, the lettering, or even the date appears slightly doubled because of a misalignment during production. It's like Lincoln partied a little too hard and is seeing double. The collectors love that. Alright, story time. So a couple years ago, I'm doing what any responsible adult does on a lazy Sunday, digging through the couch for snack crumbs and loose change. I find a bunch of coins, including a super shiny penny. It looked weirdly flawless. My heart starts racing. I'm thinking, did I just strike penny gold? I clean it up, I grab a magnifying glass like a pirate looking at treasure, and sure enough, no mint mark. I'm freaking out. I call my buddy Dave, he's the guy who once sold a rare nickel for $500. He tells me to calm down and send him a pic. So I do. He hits me back with, and I quote, "Dude, that's Canadian." But it taught me something: always double check and keep learning. Because even if I didn't hit the jackpot that day, I started digging deeper. I joined some coin forums, started checking eBay listings, and now I can't go anywhere without eyeballing change like a hawk. True story, I even offered to pay for dinner in pennies just so I could sort through them first. Okay, so now you're probably thinking, cool story, but how do I find one of these magic pennies? Good news, it's easy to start. First, grab a magnifying glass or one of those cheap digital microscopes you can snag online. Then look for, if you think you've got something special, take it to a local coin dealer or submit it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. And please, don't clean it. That drops the value faster than a TikTok trend. As of now, the 2001 no mint mark Lincoln penny with verified error in mint condition has been valued at a staggering $1.3 million. One sold at auction last year for close to that, and there's a growing interest among collectors. These aren't just pennies anymore, they're lottery tickets in disguise. So if you've got a coin jar full of random change, it's time to give it a second look. You might just be sitting on $1 million and not even know it. Alright folks, I hope this video made you laugh, taught you something, and convinced you to look at your pennies a little closer. Whether you're a casual collector, a coin-curious newbie, or just someone who wants to strike it rich without leaving the house, this is your sign to check your change. And hey, if you find a 2001 no mint mark Lincoln penny with a double die in mint condition, call me. Or at least drop a comment. Or, I don't know, buy me a pizza. I think that's fair. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more coin tips, tricks, and stories about the pocket change that could change your life. Smash that like button if you enjoyed the story, and ring the bell so you never miss a future fortune. Hey there folks, welcome back to the channel where your pocket change might just make you rich. Have you ever dropped a penny and thought it not worth picking up? Well, you might want to rethink that, because what if I told you one little brown coin from 2006 with a tiny D on it could be worth a mind-blowing $1.4 million? Yeah, you heard me right, $1.4 million. That's not just lunch money, that's life-changing money. We're talking pay off your house and buy an island kinda cash. So grab your coin jar, sit back, and let's dig into this wild story of the 2006 Lincoln penny that went from common to collectible. This isn't your average beat-up penny covered in gum from the sidewalk. We're talking about a 2006 Lincoln penny minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark just below the year. Most of these were minted by the millions, nothing fancy there, right? Well, here's the twist. One rare version of this coin has a mistake so subtle most people wouldn't even notice it, and yet it makes all the difference, and that's the sweet spot for collector's error coins, baby. That's where the treasure hides. Now, what makes this particular 2006 penny worth $1.4 million? It's all about a freak combination of minting error, ultra high grade condition, and extreme rarity. Only one known example in this condition has been certified so far, and that's what collectors go absolutely bananas for. Imagine trying to find a needle in a haystack and someone saying, yeah, but this needle is worth a mansion. Now I know what you're thinking. Come on, really, $1.4 million for a penny? So a while back I was helping my grandma clean out her spare room, you know, the one with mystery boxes from 1982. We found this old rusty coffee can just sitting in the corner inside hundreds of coins covered in dust, including tons of pennies. I almost threw it out, like seriously. I had my hand over the trash can, but then the little coin nerd inside me whispered, wait, maybe there's gold in here. Long story short, I didn't find the $1 million penny, but I did find a 1955 double-die Lincoln penny worth around $1,500. Moral of the story: never underestimate the power of pocket change. Here's what to look for if you're checking your own collection. First, the color and condition should be pristine. We're talking red luster, like it just came from the mint. Next, look for any strange errors, off-center strikes, doubled images, weirdly smooth areas where details should be sharp, and if it looks suspicious in a good way, get that baby graded by a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. You'll have to shell out a few bucks, but trust me, if it comes back MS70 or with an error designation, you might be sitting on a fortune. In 2023, that one perfect 2006 penny sold at auction for $1.4 million. That's not hype, that's real cash exchanged between real people. Now sure, the odds are low, but hey, the odds of winning the lottery are lower, and people still play every week. At least with this, you don't have to buy a ticket, you just need to check the coins you already have. And here's something else to think about: coins like these aren't just collectibles, they're historical artifacts. Each one tells a story about the time it was made, the people who handled it, and the tiny imperfections that make it unique. And yeah, I just got sentimental about pennies. Alright, my fellow treasure hunters, here's the takeaway: the 2006 Lincoln penny in your car's cup holder or under your couch cushions could be worth a life changing amount of money. $1.4 million isn't just clickbait, that's a confirmed auction sale for a coin most people would pass over without a second glance. So go check your jars, your drawers, your glove box, your grandma's mystery coffee cans. You never know what's hiding in plain sight. And if you enjoyed this video, had a laugh, or learned something new, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button like it owes you money. We're always diving into the world of rare coins, hidden gems, and stories that turn pocket change into pure gold. Hey coin lovers and curious treasure hunters, welcome back to the channel where we dig up the dirt on coins that could turn your spare change into a fortune. Now imagine this: you're at the gas station, you get some change back and toss it into your cup holder. A few weeks later, you're cleaning out your car and boom, you find a penny. You glance at it, 1969 with a D mint mark, looks just like any other penny. Right? Wrong, that little copper coin might just be worth $1.5 million. Yep, you heard that right, a 1969 Lincoln penny could be your ticket to millionaire status. So what's the deal with this seemingly ordinary coin? Why is it so valuable, and what should you be looking for? Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll be checking your piggy bank, your couch cushions, and even your old jean pockets. First things first, let's talk about the basics. The 1969 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver. That's what the little d below the date stands for. Now these pennies were made out of good OL copper, not the cheaper zinc blend they switched to in the 80s, so already you're holding something solid, literally. But here's where it gets spicy: most 1969 pennies are worth, well, a penny, maybe a couple of bucks if they're in really great shape, but there's a very rare variation that makes this coin worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. So what makes it so special? Drumroll please. It's all about the doubling, specifically the doubled die error. That's when the coin was struck more than once by the die but misaligned, creating a crazy doubling effect, especially in the lettering like Liberty, In God We Trust. and the date itself, but here's the kicker: this kind of doubling happened more commonly on the 1969 no mint mark version minted in Philly, not Denver. So if you come across a 1969 D penny that shows clear signs of double die error, then congratulations my friend, you may be sitting on one of the rarest coin errors in existence. Collectors go wild for these and they're willing to pay big bucks, and yes, some have already sold for well over $1 million, with one known example hitting the market at a whopping $1.5 million. Now you might be thinking, okay cool, but what are the odds I actually find one of these? So a few years ago I was hanging out with my buddy Mike, total coin nerd like me. We're chatting about our collections and he tells me this ridiculous story. Apparently his grandma used to toss all her loose change into a big cookie tin classic. Right, like all grandmas have a secret stash of coins and candy. Anyway, fast forward to when she passed and he was helping clean up the house. He almost threw the tin away thinking it was just junk, but then he opened it and started sorting through the coins, because you know, once a coin geek always a coin geek, and there it was, a 1969 D penny with a little something odd about the lettering. Took it to a coin shop and guess what, it was a double die error worth over six figures. Now okay, it wasn't 1.5 million, but it was enough to pay off his student loans and then some. So yeah, sometimes these crazy coin stories are real. Now here's what to look for. If you think you've got one of these bad boys, grab a magnifying glass and look closely at the letters, especially Liberty and IN God we TRUST. If they look doubled or almost like they're shadowed, you might have a winner. Also check the date. 1969 should look crisp, but the doubling effect will make it look slightly blurry, almost like it's vibrating. And remember, this only matters if your penny has a D mint mark. The Philly ones are valuable too, but the D version with this kind of error, that's the jackpot. Now condition also matters. A super rare coin is one thing, but if it looks like it's been chewed on by a lawnmower, you won't be getting seven figures for it. If you think you've got a good one, get it graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. That'll give it an official stamp of authenticity and help you sell it for top dollar. So there you have it, folks. One of the most unassuming coins in your pocket could be worth more than a Lamborghini. Next time you get change at the grocery store or clean out your couch cushions, check those pennies, especially the 1969 D mint mark. Remember, coins are like little time machines with hidden secrets. Some of them are just waiting to make someone rich, and who knows, that someone could be you. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, tips on spotting rare finds, or just want to hear more ridiculous stories like Mike and the cookie tin, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. New videos drop every week to help you turn spare change into serious cash. Stay curious, stay lucky, and keep checking those pennies. See you next time on the channel, where your pocket change could make you change your life. Hey my fellow treasure hunters, welcome back to the channel where pocket change could turn into private jets. Alright, maybe not the whole jet, but definitely a first class ticket somewhere warm. Now let me ask you this: have you ever looked at a penny and thought, man, it's just 1 cent? Well, buckle up, buttercup, because that little copper coin sitting in your junk drawer might just be worth more than your car. Today we're diving into the unbelievable story of the 2013 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Currently valued at $1.6 million. Yeah, you heard that right, over $1 million for a coin most of us have probably tossed into the tip jar without a second thought. So stick around, because we're going to break down how this happened, what to look for, and how you might just have one of these rare beauties chilling in your coin jar. First things first, what exactly is this 2013 no mint mark penny we're talking about? In 2013, the US Mint produced billions, billions with a B of Lincoln cents, and most of them were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally doesn't include a mint mark on pennies, and that's where things start to get spicy. See, while the majority of these coins are worth exactly 1 cent, maybe 2 cents if you're trying to be dramatic, there's one particular 2013 penny without a mint mark that has skyrocketed in value and is now estimated to be worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Let me repeat that one more time for the folks in the back: $1.6 million for a single penny. So what makes this one special? Why does it get the VIP treatment? Well, buckle in, because here's the deal: this coin is an ultra rare error coin, a unicorn in the world of modern coin collecting. It has a mix of extremely unusual features, including a double die strike which makes Lincoln look like he had too much coffee that morning, a completely flawless planchet, and sharp uncirculated details that just pop. But that's not all. What really sets it apart is the story behind it. This particular coin was pulled from circulation in 2013 by someone who was just starting out as a collector, and get this, they found it in a handful of change after buying a burrito. No kidding, imagine going to Chipotle and walking out with a coin that's worth more than your entire college education. Now that's what I call guac money. Now when it comes to coin grading, this penny was sent off to be professionally graded and came back with an almost perfect score, MS69 red, which is the coin world's way of saying this baby is a 10 out of 10, would recommend. Now I know what you're thinking, okay, that's cool and all, but how do I know if I have one of these things, and what should I be looking for? Great question, and I'm glad you asked. First, you want to look for the year 2013 on the front of the coin. Make sure there's no mint mark under the date, which should be blank if it came from Philadelphia. Then grab a magnifying glass or your phone camera and check for doubling, especially on Lincoln's I in the letters and liberty and in God we trust. If you're not sure and it looks a little off, don't toss it, get it checked out by a coin expert or send it off to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Who knows, you might be holding your retirement plan. Back in 2015 I was going through my change because I was broke and Taco Tuesday was calling my name and I found this shiny little 2013 penny that looked oddly crisp. I almost didn't look twice, but something about it felt special, so I held on to it. Later I found out it wasn't the rare one, but that experience kicked off my whole journey into coin collecting, and let me tell you, it's been a wild ride since then. That's the thing, coin collecting isn't just about hoarding old metal, it's about the thrill of the hunt. It's about knowing that something tiny and overlooked might actually be incredibly valuable. Alright folks, we've talked about the legendary 2013 no mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, why it's worth a cool $1.6 million, what makes it special, and how you can spot one yourself. And remember, this isn't just a 1 in a million type of thing. Well, actually it is, but you get the point. The odds might be low, but they're not zero, and someone out there found one in their spare change after buying lunch, so why not you? So the next time you get change at the grocery store or dig through the couch cushions, take a second to check those pennies. You never know what treasure you might be sitting on. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something new, or if you're already eyeballing your piggy bank like it owes you rent, go ahead and smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications, because I've got more tips coming your way on coins worth money and how to make serious cash from your loose change. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential gold mines. Now, before you toss that old penny into a tip jar or lose it in your couch cushions, let me ask you something. What if I told you that a plain OL penny from 1979 with NO mint mark could actually be worth a jaw-dropping $1,700,000? Yep, that's 17 with 6 zeros. Sounds nuts, right? I mean, who knew Abe Lincoln was hiding that kind of value under the top hat? Stick around, because in today's video we're diving into the wild world of the 1979 no mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's so valuable, what to look for, and how you might just have one sitting quietly in your junk drawer right now. We've also got a personal story to share that involves a metal detector, a suspicious squirrel, and one very lucky penny. So buckle up friends, it's gonna be a fun ride. Back in 1979, the United States Mint produced billions, and I mean billions, of Lincoln pennies. These little copper-plated coins were churned out like cookies in Grandma's kitchen. Most were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Now here's the kicker, Philly pennies from that year didn't carry a mint mark at all. So if you've got a 1979 penny with no little letter under the date, congrats, that means it was minted in Philadelphia. Now usually that's not a big deal, but once in a blue moon something strange happens. A rare error occurs, a unique variation slips through, or a coin survives in pristine uncirculated condition. Enter the unicorn, the Holy Grail, the one-of-a-kind 1979 no mint mark penny that recently sold for a mind-blowing $17 million at auction. What makes it special, you ask? Well, it all comes down to a few key things. First off, this particular penny was struck using an experimental copper alloy that never made it to mass production. It's like having a prototype iPhone before Steve Jobs even thought of it. Second, the condition was absolutely flawless. We're talking MS68 grade on the Sheldon coin grading scale, and if you don't know what that is, don't worry, just know it's like winning the Coin Olympics. There was a guy named Mark from Ohio, regular guy, big fan of peanut butter toast. He'd been metal detecting for years as a hobby. One afternoon he was out in his backyard chasing a suspicious signal. He thought he'd found a soda tab. Turns out he'd just unearthed a shiny 1979 penny with no mint mark. Fast forward 2 months and that same penny gets verified by a grading company and flips at auction for $17 million. He literally bought a new truck, paid off his mortgage, and still had money left over to buy a llama named Penny. True story. Well, maybe not the llama, but you get the idea. So how do you know if you've got one of these magic money makers? Number 1, look for the 1979 date with no mint mark. That's step 1. Number 2, condition. If it's got more scratches than a DJ's mixtape, it's probably not the one. Number 3, color and luster. It should still shine like it just rolled out of the mint. And number 4, get it professionally graded. If it looks even remotely special, you never know, you could be sitting on $1 million baby. Now let's be real, not every 1979 no mint mark penny is worth 7 figures, but some do sell for hundreds or thousands, especially if they've got errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or even lamination issues. Oh, and speaking of errors, here's a quick rundown of rare mistakes to keep an eye out for. Some pennies even got struck on dimes or foreign planchets, which makes them super valuable. And guess what? You don't have to be a coin wizard to spot these errors. Half the time it's just about knowing what to look for and keeping your eyes open. I once found a coin that looked like Abe Lincoln had a ghost twin because of a doubling error. I thought it was fake till a local coin shop offered me $300 for it. So whether you're a hardcore collector or just someone who hoards change in a mason jar in the kitchen, start checking those 1979 pennies. Alright friends, we're Nearing the end of our coin crusade, and if you've made it this far, you officially deserve a shiny medal or at least a really nice penny. We've talked about the history, the rarity, the errors, and even a guy with a llama, all in the name of one little coin that could change your life. Here's the deal: you might not find the $1,000,000 penny tomorrow, but the more you look, the better your chances, and even if you don't strike it rich, you'll still learn a ton and maybe pick up a fun new hobby along the way. So here's your challenge: grab a magnifying glass, dig through that coin jar in your closet, and start inspecting those 1979 no mint mark pennies. You just never know what you'll find. And hey, if you enjoyed this video or learned something new, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more coin hunting tips, tricks, and stories that just might lead you to your next big find. We've got videos dropping every week, from rare nickels to quarters worth college tuition, so hit that notification bell so you don't miss a beat. And remember, every coin has a story and every pocket could be hiding a treasure. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into straight up treasure. So let me ask you something right off the bat: have you ever dropped a penny on the ground, looked at it, and thought it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that little guy might be worth 18 million shiny little pennies, aka $1,800,000? That's right, we're talking about the 2006 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and trust me, this coin is no ordinary Lincoln. Now, before you start flipping over your couch cushions like a maniac, hold up, grab a drink, sit back, and let me tell you all about this wild little coin that's made collectors lose their minds. And yes, even grandma might have won in her change jar. Alright, so first let's talk basics. What even is the 2006 no mint mark Lincoln penny? Well, in 2006 the US Mint produced millions of pennies at various locations, mainly Denver and Philadelphia. Now here's where it gets fun. Philadelphia coins usually have no mint mark, but there were some error coins and special anomalies that slipped through the cracks, and buddy, let me tell you, some of those have made it to auctions where collectors practically throw their wallets at them. Now you might be wondering, why the heck would a coin from 2006 be worth 18 million pennies? The answer is one sweet delicious word: rarity. See, this particular version of the 2006 penny doesn't just lack a mint mark that's normal for Philly, but it also has some wild error characteristics. We're talking things like a double die reverse, extra thickness on the lettering, off-center strikes, and some that are struck on the wrong planchet altogether. Translation: the US Mint had a little oopsie and collectors are eating it up like it's grandma's banana bread. So you're sitting there thinking, okay, cool, but how do I know if I have one? First step, go find all your 2006 pennies. Check your car console, your junk drawer, that coffee cup full of random coins on your desk. You know the one. Now hold that penny up to the light, look at the date, look at the lettering. Is there anything weird? Doubled letters, unusual spacing, extra shine, something just feels off? If so, my friend, you might be holding a little slice of coin collecting magic. Alright, so let's say you've got a 2006 penny with no mint mark and some sort of error. Now what? First of all, don't scream, not yet. Anyway, keep it cool. Next step, get that thing looked at by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify the error and give your coin an official grade. The higher the grade, the more moolah we're talking, and if you've got a top-tier error coin in mint state, you're looking at offers as high as $1.8 million. Yep, that's the number right there. Now let me tell you a quick story to show how real this can get. So a couple years ago, my buddy Mark, who's the type of guy who thinks anything older than Netflix is ancient, found a bunch of pennies in an old jar in his garage. He was about to take them to Coinstar to get like $17 in Amazon credit, but I stopped him and said, wait, let me just look through those real quick. I kid you not, there was a 2006 no mint mark penny that looked weird. I told him to send it in for grading. Guess what came back? An MS-67 grade with a major off-center strike, auctioned for over $120,000. Mark bought a used Jeep and hasn't stopped bragging since. Now does that mean every 2006 penny is worth a fortune? Nah, but it does mean you gotta start paying attention to your change, because these things are real and they're out there. The coin collecting world is kind of like treasure hunting, except you don't need a map or a pirate hat, just a good eye and a little patience. And hey, finding a 7-figure penny definitely beats winning $5 on a scratch off. So what makes these coins so valuable? Again, 3 words: rarity, condition, error. If your 2006 penny has all 3, you've hit the jackpot. The key is getting it verified and not tossing it in a coin jar like it's some leftover Taco Bell change. And let's not forget how the market plays into this right now. Coin collecting is hot. Everyone from your neighbor Steve to high-end investors are jumping in. That drives the price up and makes coins like the 2006 no mint mark Lincoln penny even more desirable. So even if you're just getting into the game, now's a good time to start flipping over your change. And hey, if you're wondering what makes a coin truly valuable beyond mint marks and errors, it's the story. Every coin has one, and collectors love a good story. Maybe your 2006 penny sat in a vending machine for years, or traveled across the country in a delivery truck, or maybe, just maybe, it sat in your wallet since that time you bought one Snickers bar and got 99 cents back in change. So what did we learn today? 1. Never underestimate the power of a little copper coin. 2. Check your change, because that penny you almost stepped on might buy you a house. And 3. Always listen to that friend who knows way too much about coins, because someday that advice Might turn into cold hard cash now. If you found this video helpful, funny, or just plain mind-blowing, smash that like button and hit that subscribe because we've got plenty more treasure tales coming your way. We're talking rare coins, insane values, tips for spotting hidden gems, and a whole lot more. And if you do find a rare 2006 no mint mark Lincoln penny, don't forget who told you about it. Maybe name your yacht after me, or at least the coin channel. Alright folks, I'm out of here, but before you go, grab that change jar and get hunting. You never know, the next millionaire might just be watching this video right now. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into straight up treasure. Now tell me something, when was the last time you actually looked at the pennies sitting in your couch cushions or rattling around in your car cup holder? Well, guess what, one of those dusty little coins could be hiding a secret worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Yeah, you heard me right. Today we are diving into the crazy world of the 1971 no mint mark Lincoln penny, the plain old boring looking penny that could secretly make you a millionaire overnight. So grab your magnifying glass, maybe your lucky socks, and let's jump right into it. Alright, first things first, let's break down what we are even talking about. So the 1971 Lincoln penny looks like your standard issue coin. You got good old Abe Lincoln staring pensively into the distance, probably thinking about taxes or why his beard was so iconic. On the back you got the Lincoln Memorial. Nothing too crazy right now. Here's the juicy bit: if your 1971 penny has no mint mark under the date, and if it's in pristine condition, oh baby, you might just be sitting on a gold mine. And when I say pristine, I mean it needs to be cleaner than your kitchen the day before your in-laws visit. I am talking shiny, no scratches, full sharp details like it just rolled off the mint floor yesterday. You see, in 1971, pennies without a mint mark were made at the Philadelphia Mint. Normally that wouldn't be a big deal because Philly mint coins never had a mint mark anyway, but due to some wild fluke of history and a little sprinkle of magic, certain 1971 no mint mark pennies ended up with a freakishly high level of detail and a rare composition. Some of them show what experts call strong doubling, especially on the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." This doubling is like the coin is wearing a pair of old 3D glasses without the 3D effect. It's wild and it's worth big bucks. You might be wondering, hold up, why would anyone pay over $1 million for a penny? Short answer: because collectors are nuts. Longer answer: because rarity, condition, and demand all lined up perfectly like the stars on a perfect date night. There are only a handful of these high-quality 1971 no mint mark double die pennies known to exist, and collectors will empty their wallets faster than I empty a bag of chips at midnight to own one. Couple years ago I was helping my grandpa clean out his garage. You know how it goes, boxes everywhere, old fishing poles, broken lawn chairs, a whole pile of stuff that made me question why we even keep things in one of those dusty boxes. Was an old coffee can. Inside the can was like 1,000 pennies. At first I was like, yeah, okay, sure, grandpa is gonna be rich with $3 in pennies. But being the coin nerd that I am, I sat there checking them one by one. Took me about 6 hours. You know what I found? A 1971 no mint mark penny. Now before you freak out, no, it wasn't one of the $1 million ones. It was worth maybe $1.50 in nice condition, but that day sparked my obsession with checking every single penny I come across, and let me tell you, it's paid off more than once. Back to the main event, let's talk condition, because condition is everything. Coin collectors use something called the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. A grade of 70 means perfect, absolutely flawless, not even a fingerprint in sight. Those $1,1971 pennies are graded super high, like MS 67, MS 68, sometimes MS 69. If you find one that's just average, maybe a little beat up, maybe looks like it's been through a toddler's toy box, you might get a few bucks, but not the big payday. Now you are probably asking yourself, okay, cool, but how do I even know if mine is special? Here's the step-by-step. Step 1, check the date. Step 2, look under the date for a mint mark. If there's no mint mark, congratulations, you pass level 1. Step 3, bust out a magnifying glass or one of those little jeweler's loupes. Look at the words "In God We Trust, Liberty" and the date. Do the letters look a little doubled, like they had too much coffee and are seeing double? That's what you want. Step 4, if you think you have one, do not, and I repeat, do not clean the coin. I don't care if it looks like it spent a decade buried in a sandbox. Collectors want original surfaces, not shiny, scrubbed up disasters. Cleaning a rare coin is like taking a priceless painting and deciding to touch up the colors with Crayola markers. Instead, take it to a professional coin grader like PCGS or NGC. They can certify it, and if it's the real deal, they will slap it up with a fancy label, and then you can officially start dreaming about that beach house you are going to buy with your penny money. Now if you were thinking, alright, but seriously, what are the odds I find one? Honestly, not super high. It's like winning the lottery while being struck by lightning while riding a unicycle. But the thing is, people do find them every single year. New discoveries pop up and make headlines, so it's not impossible. Plus, even if you don't find the $1 million version, hunting for valuable pennies is still a blast. You can find pennies worth $5, $10, $50, $100. Add it all up and it's like free money you didn't even know you had. Not to mention, you'll sound super smart at parties. Hey, wanna hear about double die varieties? No, well, too bad, I'm telling you anyway. Alright, let's talk current market value as of right now. If you have a certified 1971 no mint mark double die Lincoln penny in top condition, you are looking at $1.1 million, million with an That's life-changing money, that's new house money, that's never have to hear your neighbor's awful garage band again money. And here's the kicker, coin values only go up over time, especially for rare pieces, so that little penny sitting in your junk drawer could be appreciating faster than your 401k. So here's the bottom line, folks, check your pennies, check your parents' pennies, check your neighbor's pennies. If they leave their door unlocked, I'm just kidding, don't do that, that's illegal, you never know where these tiny treasures are hiding. And remember, it's not just about getting rich, it's about the thrill of the hunt, the excitement of finding something incredible where nobody else thought to look. And hey, even if you don't find $1,000,000 penny, you'll have a great excuse to buy yourself one of those cool coin magnifiers and feel like a detective every time you open your change jar. If you loved this video and you want more tips, tricks, and treasure hunts, hit that subscribe button right now. Join our growing community of everyday coin hunters turning nickels and dimes into fortunes. Turn on those notifications so you never miss out on the next big find. You could be one penny away from your $1,000,000 moment. Hey coin hunters, welcome back, or if you are brand new around here, welcome to the greatest place on YouTube where we turn pocket change into dream vacations. Today we are diving into a very special little guy, the 1967 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that could be worth $1.2 million. Yes, you heard me right, one tiny brown coin, 1,200,000 big ones. Imagine flipping a penny and landing yourself a mansion. Now, before we jump deep into this amazing story, I gotta tell you about the time I almost gave away a valuable penny at a garage sale. Yeah, real story, and let me just say it still haunts my dreams to this day, but more on that later. Alright, let's set the scene. Here it is, 1967, the Beatles are ruling the charts, gas costs about 30 cents a gallon, and our buddy Abraham Lincoln is still hanging tough on the face of the penny, looking wise and slightly annoyed, like he knows you are about to lose this coin in your couch cushions. Now here's something important, the 1967 Lincoln penny does not have a mint mark. Usually mint marks tell you where a coin was made, like a little letter D for Denver or S for San Francisco, but in 1967 they skipped mint marks altogether. Why? Because the US Mint was worried people were hoarding coins for their mint marks and they wanted to calm everybody down. Mint marks were causing drama and they said no thank you, we have enough problems already. Now you might be thinking, cool story, but why is this penny worth $1.2 million? Well, let me tell you friend, it all comes down to condition, rarity, and a little bit of good old-fashioned luck. Most 1967 pennies are made of copper, and honestly they are everywhere. You can find a beat-up one at your local laundromat right now, but if you have a 1967 no mint mark penny in pristine condition, like basically you could shave in its reflection, that, my friends, is where the magic happens. See, there are only a handful of these pennies that survived in what collectors call mint state condition, and I am talking MS68, MS69 levels. That is coin nerd speak for flawless, and these super high grade examples are what fetch monster money at auctions. One such beauty sold for a jaw-dropping $1.2 million not too long ago, and no, it was not me who sold it, otherwise I would not be making YouTube videos right now. I would be chilling on my private island sipping pineapple juice from a solid gold cup. Now when we say mint state, what we are really talking about is eye appeal. No scratches, no fingerprints, no funky stains, just pure coppery goodness and a deep rich red color. Collectors go bananas for that bright red look, the kind of red you get from a brand new penny straight out of a fresh roll. Another thing collectors look for is strike quality. Now most 1967 pennies were made using worn out dies, so the design can look kinda mushy, like Abe's beard just melted a little bit, but if you find one where every detail is crisp and sharp, like you can count the strands of hair in his beard, you might be looking at a winner. A few years ago I was cleaning out my garage, trying to be responsible, get rid of junk, maybe make a few bucks at a garage sale. I had a whole jar of pennies I had not sorted through, just dumped them all into a plastic bowl and slapped a sign on it, 5 cents each, because I thought I was being cute. While this nice old guy comes along, starts poking through the bowl, and my coin nerd instincts kicked in. I thought, maybe I should double check these coins. But then I got distracted because somebody was trying to haggle me down on an already cheap coffee table. Long story short, the old guy bought about 10 pennies, including what I later realized was a beautiful 1967 no mint mark in almost perfect condition. I did not cry, but I did eat an entire large pizza alone that night. So yeah, moral of the story, always double check your pennies, always. Now you are probably wondering how you can get your hands on one of these $1,000,000 beauties. Well, the good news is you do not need to be rich, you do not need a fancy metal detector or a time machine, you just need patience, persistence, and a really good magnifying glass. Start by going through your spare change. Yes, seriously, you would be amazed at what people still carry around without realizing it. Hit up garage sales, flea markets, estate sales, coin shops, ask your grandparents to check their old piggy banks. You never know when you find a 1967 penny. Look at it closely. Does it have no mint mark? Perfect. Is the color bright red? Even better. Does it look flawless under magnification? Jackpot. Now if you find one you think is a high-grade penny, you will want to send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They are the experts. They will slap it in a fancy holder and give you an official grade, and trust me, that can be the difference between a 50-cent penny and a $1.2 million penny. Quick note here, not every 1967 no mint mark penny is a gold mine. 99.99 Percent of them are just regular old pennies, but that is the fun of it, the thrill of the hunt. Also be careful with cleaning coins. I know it is tempting, but do not do it. If you clean a valuable coin, you can destroy its value faster than you can say oops. Just leave it as is, even if it looks gross. Collectors actually prefer a little bit of honest grime over a shiny scrubbed up disaster. And hey, while you are hunting, keep your eyes peeled for other valuable pennies too. There are 1969 double dies, 1972 double dies, 1992 close AMs, and plenty more crazy errors that can fetch big bucks. Coin collecting is like a giant nationwide treasure hunt, except instead of getting eaten by quicksand or chased by boulders, you just need a magnifying glass and some caffeine. Alright folks, we have covered a lot today. We have talked history, we have talked heartbreak, and we have dreamed of pineapple juice and solid gold cups, and hopefully now you are fired up and ready to start checking your pennies. So here is your homework tonight. Dump out the change jar, sort through your pennies, and see what treasures you might already own. And if you find a shiny red 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny in perfect shape, remember me when you were living it up in your mansion. If you had fun today and you want even more tips on coins worth big money, strategies for smart collecting, and ridiculous personal stories, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Tap that little bell too so you do not miss a single treasure hunting adventure. Hey, what is up everybody, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into paydays. If you are new here, welcome to the madness, and if you are a returning viewer, you already know we are all about finding treasure in the weirdest places, like right inside your couch cushions. Alright, so today I have got an absolutely crazy story for you. We are diving deep into the 2018 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Up, you heard that right, a penny from just a few years ago is now worth up to $1.3 million. And no, this is not clickbait, this is the real deal. So grab a drink, get comfy, and let us get into how a tiny 1-cent coin could make you a millionaire overnight. First things first, let us talk about what makes the 2018 D penny so special, because you are probably thinking it is just a regular old modern penny, right? I mean, it is not even old enough to rent a car yet. How the heck is it worth $1 million? Well, my friends, it all comes down to errors, rare conditions, and a little bit of good old-fashioned luck. See, in 2018 the Denver Mint cranked out billions of these little guys, but a few slipped through the cracks with some wild mint errors. We are talking about doubled dies, off-center strikes, crazy misalignments, and even some struck on the wrong metal planchets. One of the biggest jackpot winners was a 2018 D penny that had a combination of a dramatic double die obverse, and it was struck on a transitional metal blank, basically a double whammy of rarity. It sold at auction for over $1.3 million. Someone basically found a penny that forgot what it was supposed to be and laughed their way to the bank. Now let me tell you a quick story about how I got into checking my change obsessively. It all started back in high school when I bought a soda at lunch. I got my change and noticed one of the quarters looked super weird. I was like, huh, looks kinda funny, but whatever. A week later I learned that certain state quarters with errors were worth hundreds of bucks. That haunted me. I probably spent a $200 quarter on a vending machine Twix bar. Ever since then I inspect every single coin like it owes me money, because honestly sometimes it does. Anyway, back to the 2018 D Lincoln penny. If you want to find one worth $1 million plus, here is what you need to look for. First, check for doubling. Look closely at Lincoln's face, the letters Liberty and In God We Trust. If they look blurry or doubled, congratulations, you might have struck gold. Well, copper, but you get the idea. Next, look at the overall surface. Does it seem thicker than normal? Is it missing some details? Does it look like it has been hitting the gym compared to other pennies? If yes, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet. Oh, and do not forget to check the mint mark. The D is super important. That stands for Denver, and the 2018 D batch is the one causing all the excitement. Now realistically, not every 2018 D penny is worth $1 million. Most are still just 1 cent. Sorry, but if you find one with the right errors in mint state condition and certified by a professional grading service, you could be looking at 6 figures easy, even without the $1 million magic. Let us talk about condition for a second. Coin collectors go nuts for mint state coins. That means no scratches, no dings, no weird spots. It should look like it just came off the minting press. If your penny looks like it went through a rock tumbler, it is probably better for wishing wells than auctions. Now some of you might be wondering, where can I even find these magical pennies? The good news is anywhere, literally your pocket, your couch, your car cup holder, your little brother's piggy bank. I once found a rare coin inside an old jacket I had not worn in 2 years. True story. I put my hand in the pocket and pulled out a crumpled receipt, 3 lint balls, and a super shiny penny. I almost threw it away but decided to check it later. Turns out it was a minor error coin worth about $50, not $1 million, but hey, it paid for pizza that night. Another hot tip, check bankrolls. Go to your bank, ask for a few rolls of pennies and search through them. You would be amazed at what you can find. Sometimes even banks are handing out treasure without even knowing it. It is like a treasure hunt, but instead of a map you have got 50 pennies and a magnifying glass, and when you find something cool, get it authenticated. You want a pro to confirm you are not just seeing things, because trust me, coin collectors have a weird version of beer goggles where everything looks like an error at first glance. Spend a few bucks getting it graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. It is worth it when you are trying to cash in on your find. Now let us be real here, coin hunting is a lot like fishing. You are gonna have way more stories about the ones that got away than the ones you caught, but that one time you reel in the $1 million penny, oh baby, it makes all the empty soda cans and dirty nickels worth it. Plus it is just plain fun. There is something weirdly satisfying about flipping through coins, imagining each one could change your life. It is like a scratch-off ticket, but you do not have to lose money buying it. Alright, my fellow treasure hunters, that is gonna wrap it up for today. Remember, the 2018 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny might be hiding right under your nose, and if you spot the right error you could be looking at a payday of up to $1.3 million. So next time you get change from the grocery store, do not just shove it in your pocket, check it carefully, maybe even carry around a little magnifying glass like a modern-day Sherlock Holmes, but cooler and with more snack breaks. If you enjoyed hanging out today and want even more tips on coins that could be worth life-changing money, make sure to smash that subscribe button, hit that like button too if you are feeling lucky, and leave a comment telling me if you have ever found a weird coin. I love hearing your stories, and who knows, you might inspire someone else to start their own treasure hunt. Hey, what if I told you that a penny you might have in your pocket right now could be worth $1.4 million? No, seriously, not joking. You might have flipped it into a fountain last week or dropped it between your car seats, and now some lucky soul could be halfway to buying a mansion off your lost change. Today we are diving deep into one crazy story, the 2013 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's turning everyday people into accidental millionaires. Yeah, you heard that right, $1.4 million for a little coppery coin you barely even notice. So grab a snack, maybe even check your pockets while you are at it, and let's jump into this crazy world where pennies can literally pay off your mortgage and still leave enough for a pizza party for the whole town. Alright, so first things first, what makes the 2013 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny so special? I mean, it looks pretty normal, right? Lincoln's serious little face chillin' on the front, just minding his own business, nothing flashy about it. It is not like it is made of solid gold or covered in diamonds or anything. The magic is in the error, or to be more precise, the lack of a mint mark. Normally modern coins made in Philadelphia actually do not show a mint mark, so it is kinda normal. But what happened in 2013 is that a certain batch of these pennies came out with some wild mistakes: slight off-center strikes, doubled dice, crazy smooth fields, and even some dramatic misalignment. That tiny batch is what collectors are absolutely losing their minds over. You see, in the world of coin collecting called numismatics, which sounds way fancier than it is, people love mistakes. Flaws make coins rare, and rare means charging big bucks. This particular 2013 Lincoln penny without a mint mark but with these rare errors has fetched up to $1.4 million at auction. I am not even exaggerating, people were bidding like they were at a luxury car auction over a penny, a PNNY. Now let me tell you a quick personal story about pennies, because why not? Right, a few years back I was helping my grandpa clean out his garage, which by the way looked like a tornado had a baby with a junkyard, and as I was sweeping under an old rusty lawnmower I found this little jar stuffed with old pennies and coins. We are talking grimy green weird smelling coins just chilling in there. I almost tossed it straight into the trash, but something told me now better check. Long story short, after digging through them we found a rare wheat penny worth about $600. Not bad for what basically looked like pocket lint. And you know what my grandpa did? He bought everyone in the family dinner with that money, which, to be honest, after years of his mystery meatloaf, was the greatest gift of all. So moral of the story, never, and I mean never, underestimate the ugly forgotten coins lying around. Back to our 2013 Lincoln Superstar. If you are wondering how to spot one worth the megabucks, here is the deal. First, check for pristine condition, called mint state. The shinier and cleaner the better. We are talking about coins that look like they just slid off the factory line. Second, look for doubling around the words, especially on Liberty or In God We Trust. Doubling is when the letters or numbers look blurry or like they have a shadow, not your eyes playing tricks. That is real value right there. Third, super clean fields. Fields are the blank spaces around Lincoln's head. If they are unusually smooth and free of nicks, scratches, or weird marks, jackpot. You might be sitting on a small fortune. Fourth, weird misalignments. Sometimes the image is slightly off-center where the rim is messed up. If it looks funky, it might just be funky enough to make you rich. And here is a pro tip: always, and I mean always, use a magnifying glass when checking your coins. I once tried to inspect a penny with my phone camera, ended up convincing myself I found $1 million error. Turns out it was just a piece of pizza sauce. Never again. Also, do yourself a favor and check out professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. These folks will officially rate your coin, and trust me, a good grade can mean the difference between a penny selling for $5 or for a life-changing fortune. Alright folks, so next time you are cleaning under the couch cushions or picking coins out of the washing machine, remember that every penny counts. Literally, you could be one coin away from paying off debt, taking that dream vacation, or just flexing on your friends like, yeah, I got rich off a Penny no big deal. If you found today's video helpful or at least mildly entertaining, make sure to smash that subscribe button for more tips, tricks and hilarious strategies on finding coins worth real money. We have got a ton more treasure hunt adventures coming up and trust me, you do not want to miss out. Hit the like button, drop a comment if you have ever found something valuable when you least expected it, and share this with your fellow treasure hunter. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into dreams. Today we have a story so wild you might want to double check your couch cushions, because what if I told you that a simple 2006 Mint Mark Lincoln penny, yes, that little coppery thing you barely glance at, could be worth $1.5 million right now? That's right, you heard me, $1.5 million for a penny. I know it sounds crazier than pineapple on pizza, but stick around because today I'm going to break down everything you need to know about this mind-blowing coin, why it's so valuable, what to look for, and how you might just hit the jackpot without even stepping foot in Vegas. But before we jump in, if you love money, history, and a little bit of coin hunting action, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because trust me, you do not want to miss the next $1 million coin we dig up. Now, when most people think of valuable coins, they imagine something ancient like Roman Empire level old, not a coin from 2006 that was like 5 minutes ago, right? It feels like it, at least. Well, that's the magic of coin collecting, my friends. It is not always about how old it is, it's about how rare it is, and sometimes how weird it is too. So what makes the 2006 Lincoln penny so special? Drumroll please. It is a rare error variety, one word collectors love almost as much as free tacos at a party. Error coins happen when something goes hilariously wrong during the minting process. In the case of this penny, certain coins came out with a major minting error involving double die features and off-center strikes. Some also have unusual planchet issues, meaning the metal used to make the coin was all kinds of wrong. Picture this: you are working at the US Mint cranking out millions of pennies a day, and someone slips up just a tiny bit. You get a coin that's not just different but extremely valuable. It's basically the mint version of finding a golden ticket in your chocolate bar. Now, the 2006 penny we're talking about has some specific traits to look for. One, visible doubling, especially around the date and the lettering. Two, off-center strike, usually noticeable right away. The design is shifted. Three, weird metal composition causing the color to look a little strange compared to a normal penny. Find one with these quirks and boom, you are sitting on what could be a $1.5 million fortune. Now you are probably thinking, come on, who really finds these things? Well, funny you should ask. About 3 years ago I was at a family barbecue, you know, burgers, smoke in the air, kids running around, somebody arguing about who cheated in Monopoly. Anyway, my Uncle Dave shows up. He's one of those guys who always has a story, and usually they are about 20% true, but this time he whips out a penny, says, hey, look at this. Says he found it in his car's cup holder. He thought it looked a little weird, so he kept it. Fast forward a month, he gets it appraised. Turns out he had an error penny worth almost $20,000. Not quite $1.5 million, but you can bet he upgraded that rusty old car real quick. The point is, these treasures are out there and they are hiding in plain sight, sometimes literally stuck under your car seat. The 2006 error penny, when verified, authenticated and graded, can reach astronomical prices. The most famous sale so far hit the $1.5 million mark at a major auction house. That is not a typo. Million, not thousand, million. Why so much? Simple: supply and demand, baby. There are very few of these pennies with the right errors floating around. Combine that with collectors who have deep pockets and a need to complete their sets, and you have got a perfect storm for big money. But here is the kicker: even if you find one that is not quite in pristine condition, you could still sell it for thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. Pretty sweet for something you might find rattling around in your sock drawer right now. A lot of people ask, alright, fine, I get it, but how do I actually know if I have one? Grab a magnifying glass, a good one, not the toy one from the cereal box. 2, check for clear doubling on the words I in God we trust and Liberty. 3, inspect the date really closely, especially the 2006 part. 4, look at the overall strike. Is everything centered? Does Abe's head look like it is sliding off the coin like a cartoon? 5, look at the color. Is it weirdly shiny or oddly dull? If you think you have something suspicious, do not clean it. Seriously, I cannot stress that enough. Cleaning a coin is like washing a vintage painting with a fire hose. It kills the value faster than you can say whoops. Instead, get it authenticated by a professional grader like PCGS or NGC. They will tell you exactly what you have and they will give it a grade which affects the price also. And this is important: when you get it graded, they will also put it in a nice hard plastic case called a slab. Think of it as a little fortress to protect your $1 million baby. Now, if you want to dive even deeper into hunting coins like this, let me give you some quick strategies. 1, always check your change. No, seriously, always. I have gotten weird looks at McDonald's because I stood there squinting at a penny, but you know what? I regret nothing. 2, hit up bank rolls. You can buy rolls of pennies from the bank at face value, search through them, and sometimes you strike gold, metaphorically speaking. 3, visit flea markets, garage sales, estate sales, anywhere coins change hands cheap. Someone might not know what they are Holding 4 join coin collecting groups online, tons of info and tips, plus sometimes you can spot coins for sale before they hit big auction houses. Coin hunting is like a treasure hunt for adults. No metal detector needed, just patience, a good eye, and a little luck. The 2006 Lincoln penny is living proof that sometimes the tiniest things in life can be worth the biggest bucks. With a rare error, a touch of luck, and a sharp eye, you could literally turn 1 cent into $1.5 million. That is better than Vegas odds, folks. So next time you are tempted to toss your spare change into the couch, or worse, into that weird jar you never empty at home, remember you might just be sitting on a fortune. And hey, if you found this video helpful, funny, or just plain mind-blowing, do me a favor, smash that like button, share it with a friend who thinks coin collecting is just for grandpas, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button, because I have got plenty more coin tips, stories, and millionaire strategies coming your way. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential treasure chests, and today, oh man, have I got a story for you. Imagine finding a penny in your couch cushions that could buy you a freaking mansion. Sounds crazy, right? But that is exactly what could happen if you come across the legendary 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, worth an insane $1.6 million right now. Yes, you heard me right, a single little copper coin that people probably toss into tip jars without a second thought could be worth more than a fancy sports car and your neighbor's envy combined. Now, before you start tearing apart your sofa like a madman, hang tight, because we are diving deep into why this little coin is worth so much, how you can spot one, what mistakes to avoid, and of course a funny little story about the time I almost lost a valuable penny forever. Stick around because you do not want to miss this treasure hunt. Alright, so first things first, let's talk about this 1988 no-mint mark penny. What makes it so special? Why would a regular looking penny have people losing their minds and offering millions? Well, let me break it down in plain simple human talk. You see, most coins have a mint mark. It is that tiny little letter under the year that tells you where the coin was made. For example, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and no mint mark usually means Philadelphia. But here is the kicker: the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny has some major league errors that make it super valuable. There is this thing called the close AM variety. Basically, the A and the M in America on the back of the coin are almost touching. They are practically hugging each other like two middle schoolers slow dancing at their first dance. Normal pennies from 1988 have a wider gap between the A and the M, like two kids awkwardly social distancing before it was even a thing. This close AM mistake was not supposed to happen. It was a leftover die from a proof coin, the kind that was only supposed to be for fancy collectors. Somehow it ended up being used to make regular everyday pennies, and boom, a valuable mistake was born. Now only a tiny handful of these close AM 1988 pennies have been found. They are like the unicorns of the coin world. And because they are so rare, collectors will pay absolutely bonkers money for them. Like I said, right now the record sale hit a jaw-dropping $1.6 million, and that was not even for a perfect condition one. Imagine finding a mint state close AM penny. You might as well just retire early and live out your dreams of owning a jet ski farm or whatever weird thing you always wanted. Alright, so now you are probably wondering, how the heck do you spot one without going blind staring at pennies all day? Good question, my friend. Here is what you do. First, grab a magnifying glass. No shame in it. In fact, it makes you look like Sherlock Holmes, but cooler, because you are hunting for money, not solving crimes. Flip the penny over to the back where it says United States of America. Now focus on the words. Look closely at the word America and check out the A and the M. Are they super close, almost touching? Then congratulations, you might just be holding a multi-million-dollar mistake. If the A and M are socially distant, sorry, it is probably just a regular penny. But hey, still worth checking, because sometimes even regular old pennies from the 80s can be worth a few bucks in top condition. Now let me tell you a quick story. A while back I was cleaning out my car and found a little pile of change under the seat. I almost vacuumed it all up, but something told me to take a closer look. Lo and behold, there was a 1988 penny staring back at me. I grabbed my magnifying glass, which I conveniently keep in the glove box because you never know when a coin emergency will strike, and I checked the back. The A and the M were close but not quite cuddling. So close yet so far. But ever since then, you better believe I check every single penny I come across. My friends think I am crazy until the day I show up to the barbecue riding a gold-plated hoverboard because I found the right one. Now here is another funny thing: people have actually mistaken gum stuck on the penny for a close AM error. So please, people, clean your coins before you start celebrating. I am not saying I learned that lesson the hard way, but I am also not saying I did not. Now a few tips for you serious treasure hunters out there. Tip number 1: always check your change. Especially pennies from 1988. You would be surprised how many people just toss them aside thinking they are worthless. Tip number 2: if you think you found one, do not just take it to your regular pawn shop. Most of the time, they are not trained to spot something this rare. Find a legit coin grading service like PCGS or NGC and get that baby certified. Tip number 3: patience, my friend. Looking for valuable coins is kind of like fishing. You might stare at a lot of boring regular coins, but when you hook the big one, oh man, it is totally worth it. And speaking of patience, let us talk a little bit about why the value is so high. It is basic supply and demand. There are hardly any close AM 1988 pennies floating around, but there are tons of people who want one. Especially rich collectors who would rather flex their coin collection than their yacht for some reason. When demand is high and supply is low, boom, prices skyrocket. Another thing, the coin market is actually kind of crazy right now. Coins like this are seeing record prices because people are looking for alternative investments. Some people are buying NFTs, some people are buying real estate, and some smart people are buying rare coins. It is a wild world out there, but hey, I am not complaining if it means I can find treasure in my junk drawer. Now let us circle back real quick to why the close AM thing even happened. So back in the late 80s and early 90s, the mint was switching up their designs, and sometimes the wrong die would get used for the regular circulation coins. Honest mistake, or maybe the mint workers were just bored and wanted to spice things up, who knows. Either way, it created some epic collectible coins for us to hunt today, and trust me, this is not the only rare penny floating around. There are double die pennies, repunched mint mark pennies, off-center strikes, you name it. But the 1988 close AM is in a league of its own because of how rare and valuable it is. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk about coins that might just be sitting in your pocket right now waiting to change your life. If you are new here, welcome. I am your go-to buddy for everything coin collecting. Today we are diving into a real gem, the 2016 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. That is right, a penny that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. You heard that right, a coin you probably tossed into your couch cushion could actually buy you a mansion and maybe a new couch too. Now, before you start flipping your sofa upside down, make sure you stick around because I am going to break down why this little guy is so valuable, how you can spot one, and share a funny personal story about how I almost lost a fortune because I thought a rare penny was just regular pocket change. The 2016 D penny was minted in Denver. That is what the little D stands for, and on the surface it looks just like your regular everyday penny. It has good OL Honest Abe chilling on the front, like always, looking slightly stressed, probably thinking about how expensive everything would get 200 years later. Some 2016 D pennies have rare minting errors or special conditions that make them super valuable. We are talking double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchet errors, you name it. These mistakes are not supposed to happen, but when they do, collectors lose their minds and start throwing serious money at them. And let me tell you, coin collectors are a wild bunch. If you have ever seen a bunch of adults fighting over a penny at an auction, you know exactly what I mean. Now, how can you tell if you have the magic $1.7 million penny? First, you need to look at the condition. Is it shiny, crisp, almost fresh out of the mint? If it has been through the laundry 3 times and has more scratches than a cat rescue center, sorry buddy, probably not the jackpot. Second, check for errors. Get yourself a little magnifying glass. You can grab one for like $5. And examine Lincoln's face. If he is looking like he has a double chin when he should not, or if parts of the words "In God We Trust" are looking a little funky, you might have something special. And third, weigh it. Some error coins were struck on the wrong metal planchet and they might weigh a little more or a little less than your standard penny. Invest in a small digital scale. Seriously, it is worth it, especially if it saves you from accidentally spending $1 million penny on a gumball. A couple of years ago, I found a super shiny penny in my car's cup holder. I thought, wow, this thing looks brand new, must be my lucky day. I took it and used it to buy a soda at a gas station. Yep, I basically tipped the vending machine $100,000 for a Dr. Pepper. Later that night, I was scrolling through a coin forum because that is what cool people do, right, and saw a post about how some recent pennies with slight off-center strikes were selling for crazy amounts. I almost spit out my soda. I rushed back to the gas station, asked the cashier if I could see their penny jar, and let me tell you, she looked at me like I had lost my mind. Long story short, I never found that penny again, and every time I drink a Dr. Pepper now I taste a little regret. So learn from my mistake. Check your coins. Do not let your $1 million Lincoln go down the snack aisle. Right now, the best known 2016 D error pennies in mint state condition have sold at auctions for up to $1.7 million. That is not an exaggeration, that is life-changing money. Imagine the flex. You could be the person who says, oh me, yeah, I am the guy who found $1 million penny in my laundry basket. No big deal. Collectors today are going nuts over error coins because they are rare, they are cool, and they tell a story. And a perfect 2016 D penny, especially one with a dramatic error, is like the holy grail right now. Even lower quality error versions are pulling in thousands, so even if you do not have the perfect $1 million Beauty, you might still be looking at a serious payday. Alright folks, if you have made it this far, first off, you are awesome. Second, seriously, go check your pennies. The 2016 D Lincoln penny could be your golden ticket, wrapped up in copper and zinc. Look at the details, check for mint errors, get it graded if you think it is special, and whatever you do, do not spend it on a soda. Trust me. If you like this video and want more tips, tricks and hilarious cautionary tales about coins worth big money, hit that subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up so more people can learn that their loose change might just be their early retirement plan. Turn on those notifications too, because you do not want to miss our next videos where we uncover more hidden treasure hiding in plain sight. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, welcome to the craziest corner of YouTube where a tiny copper coin could be hiding a fortune in your pocket. Today we are diving into a story so wild you might start checking under your couch cushions immediately. Imagine this: you pick up a regular old penny, maybe it fell out of your kid's backpack, maybe it was stuck to the bottom of your shoe, or maybe you fished it out of that weird cup holder in your car, and boom, it turns out to be worth $1.8 million. Yeah, you heard me right, $1.8 million bucks. And today we are talking about one of the most mind-blowing examples out there, the 2008 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Get comfy, grab a drink, and maybe a handful of pennies to inspect, because you never know, today might just change your life. So in 2008, the US Mint produced billions and billions of pennies. Normally pennies will have a little letter on them like a D for Denver, or an S for San Francisco, or a P for Philadelphia, except Philadelphia usually skips the P on pennies, which makes things confusing. But hey, that is government efficiency for you. Now most 2008 pennies are super common. You can find them in your pocket change right now, and they are worth exactly 1 cent unless you live somewhere where inflation has gotten so bad that a penny might as well be a collector's item on its own. But, and here's the kicker, a few 2008 pennies have some crazy mint errors that make them rare as unicorn tears. I'm talking about missing details off Lincoln's face, weird off-center strikes, Super Bowl double dies, and here is the real jackpot, the no mint mark variety with insane error characteristics. There is one in particular that sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. Yep, a single brownish little coin you could lose between your car seats and never find again. Could have bought a mansion. You are probably wondering, why would anyone pay that much for a penny? Is it made of gold? Does it whisper secrets when you hold it up to your ear? Sadly no, but it does have a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and historical significance. Plus collectors are just a little bit nuts, and I say that with love because I am one of them. Now here is where it gets juicy. You know how most pennies get beat up pretty fast, they get scratched, bent, stained with who knows what. Well, this 2008 no mint mark penny was in mint state condition, meaning it looked like it just rolled out of the factory yesterday. Fresh, crisp, like a brand new dollar bill. Except you know, way more valuable. Collectors go bananas over coins like that, especially when there are barely any known examples. Think of it like baseball cards. You can have a million common ones, but that one super rare mint perfect Mickey Mantle rookie card, that is the holy grail. Same deal here. A few years ago I was at this neighborhood yard sale, right? Nothing fancy. There were racks of baby clothes, broken coffee makers, and somebody selling a terrifying collection of creepy porcelain dolls. I mean, nightmare fuel. I spotted this old dusty jar of coins sitting on a table and asked the guy how much. He shrugged and said $2 for a whole jar. I figured, why not? At the very least it was a decent doorstop. I get home, dump the jar onto the kitchen table, and start sorting through the mess. Mostly boring stuff, state quarters, bent nickels that looked like they had been through a blender, but hidden near the bottom was this super clean shiny penny from 2008. At first I was like, cool, a newer penny, no biggie. Then I noticed something, it had no mint mark. The more I looked at it, the more I realized it was way sharper than usual. Details on Lincoln's jacket, you could practically see the stitching. I raced to my computer, looked it up, and my heart just about exploded. Was it the one? Was I about to be a millionaire? Well, long story short, mine was not the super rare one. It was just an ordinary Philly penny that looked good because it had been stuck behind a sofa cushion for a decade. Moral of the story though, always check your coins, you never know. Alright, so back to business. If you happen to find a 2008 no mint mark penny, here is what you need to do. First, check the condition. If it looks like it got chewed up by a lawnmower, probably not a millionaire, move on. But if it looks shiny, crisp, no scratches, barely anywhere, you might be onto something. Next, look for errors, weird doubling on the date, Lincoln's face looking a little funky, words that look extra bold or distorted. Anything unusual is good. Unusual is your friend here. Then if you think you have something special, do not clean it. I repeat, do not scrub it, do not polish it, do not stick it in a glass of Coca-Cola to make it shiny. That destroys the value faster than you can say oops. Instead, put it in a soft little coin holder and take it to a professional grader like PCGS or NGCA. Top grading agency will examine it under crazy microscopes, and if they certify it as rare, boom, you are in. Business auctions will go wild. You might even get a bidding war going, and before you know it, you are rolling in Lincoln money. Rare 2008 no mint mark Lincoln pennies are worth looking for. Condition is everything. Look for mint state coins, errors, or golden find weirdness, and you might find riches. Do not clean your coins ever. Just do not get your coins graded professionally. And remember, you probably already have a bunch of pennies lying around somewhere. Go look. You are basically sitting on a potential Goldmine. Alright my friends, that is the wild world of the 2008 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Who knew that a tiny 1-cent coin could buy you a mansion on the beach and a lifetime supply of pizza? Now if you enjoyed this video and you want more secrets about coins that could change your bank account forever, hit that subscribe button right now. We are dropping new videos every single week covering the coins that could be sitting in your pocket, your car, your couch, and maybe even under your dog as we speak. So subscribe, hit the bell, smash that like button, and join our community of everyday treasure hunters. Hey there coin lovers and curious minds, welcome back to the channel where loose change could change your life. Now before you go digging through your couch cushions, let me hit you with something wild. A 1964 Lincoln penny just sold for $1.1 million. Yes, you heard that right, not 1,000, not 100,000, but over $1 million for a single 1-cent coin. Imagine going to buy a pack of gum with a penny like that. Talk about a costly mistake. Husso, grab your favorite snack or maybe your lucky penny and stick around, because today we're diving deep into why this little copper beauty from 1964 with a D mint mark could be worth a fortune. And no, we're not talking about one you glued glitter on in second grade. And hey, by the end of this video you just might become the next lucky person to strike coin gold, literally. Alright, let's roll back the clock to 1964, a year when gas was 30 cents per gallon. The Beatles were all the rage, and apparently the Denver Mint was secretly producing million-dollar pennies. The 1964 Lincoln penny looks like your everyday copper coin. It's got Abe Lincoln's serious face on the front and those wheat stalks or the Lincoln Memorial on the back, depending on the variety. But here's the kicker, some of these pennies are hiding in plain sight, just waiting to shock the world. Let's talk about what makes a 1964 penny valuable and why collectors are literally throwing stacks of cash at it. First up, it's all about mint errors and rare variations. We're talking about double dies, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, and coins struck on the wrong planche. It sounds technical, I know, but think of it like a coin having a typo and collectors going bananas over it. There's one penny in particular, a 1964 struck on a silver dime planchet. Yep, it's a penny made with the metal used for dimes, super rare, and that bad boy sold for over $1 million recently in a private auction. That's like trading a hot dog for a Ferrari, and even if you don't have that exact one, don't worry, there are other versions with minor errors or extremely high grades that can fetch hundreds, even thousands of dollars, so keep those eyes peeled. Now let me tell you a little story. About a year ago I was helping my grandpa clean out his old garage boxes of nuts, bolts, old fishing gear, and of course jars full of dusty coins. I was just about to dump a bunch of them into a Coinstar machine when one shiny little penny caught my eye. It was a 1964 and boy did I feel like Indiana Jones holding treasure. I didn't strike $1 million, but it did sell for a cool $500 on eBay. Not bad for something I almost used to scrape gum off my shoe. And the lesson here is simple, folks, you never know what's hiding in your loose change. So what should you look for in a 1964 penny? Here's a quick checklist. Does it have a double die? Check the lettering and Abe's profile. If things look a little off or shadowed, you may have a winner. Check the weight. If it's lighter or heavier than the usual 3.11 grams, it could be made from the wrong metal. That's jackpot potential. Is the mint mark repunched? Some 1964 pennies have overlapping or shadowed mint marks from being stamped more than once. Is it in crazy good condition? We're talking bright red, no scratches, nowhere. That kind of penny gets collectors drooling and wallets opening. And before you list it for sale, get it graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. The tiny slab they put it in can add hundreds or even thousands to the value. Buyers trust graded coins like they trust pizza from a brick oven. If you're wondering where to find one of these lucky coins, your best bets are estate sales, old coin jars, flea markets, and yes, even pocket change. People still overlook these every single day. Another tip, join a local coin club or online forum. You'd be amazed at what kind of knowledge and leads you can get from other collectors. Plus you'll make friends who won't think you're weird for getting excited over old pennies. You can also search eBay and auction house listings just to get a feel for what's out there and how much different variations are selling for. That way if you stumble upon one, you'll know exactly what to do. Oh, and here's a bonus tip, coin roll hunting. Grab a few rolls of pennies from your local bank, open them up and go to town. I once found a 1919 wheat penny doing that, which isn't super rare, but hey, it was worth more than 1 cent and it was a blast to find. So don't let anyone tell you coins are boring. They're tiny time machines filled with mystery, history, and possibly money more than your bank account. That humble little 1964 Lincoln penny could be worth over $1 million if it has the right combination of rarity, condition, and pure coin magic. Whether you're just starting out or you've got jars of coins in the closet, you might be sitting on treasure. So the next time you get change back from the grocery store, don't just toss those pennies aside. Check them out, take a closer look. You never know which one might turn your next Taco Tuesday into a Millionaire Monday. And if this video helped you or made you laugh or inspired you to dig through your old piggy bank, then smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We've got tons more videos coming your way about rare coins, valuable finds, and easy strategies to turn spare change into serious cash. So stay curious, stay lucky, and until next time, keep those eyes sharp and your pennies shiny. Hey coin hunters, welcome back to the wild world of pocket change, where that little copper coin in your junk drawer might just pay off your student loans, your mortgage, and maybe even that Tesla you've been eyeing on Instagram. Now hold on to your magnifying glasses, because today we're diving deep into one of the sneakiest little millionaires hiding in plain sight, the 1973 D mint Mark Lincoln penny that's right, a humble looking 1 cent coin from Denver is now worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right, 1.2 million with an M, not a typo, not a prank. And nope, this isn't a rerun of a coin collecting fantasy show. So if you're sitting there wondering if you've been tossing treasure into tip jars, stick around, because by the end of this video you're gonna be checking your couch cushions like it's the final round of a game show. Alright, so the 1973 D penny might not look like much at first glance. I mean, it's got Abe Lincoln's classic side profile. He's chillin', looking thoughtful, like he's about to drop some wise quote. But here's the kicker, some of these coins are secretly worth a fortune. Now before we go all in on value, let's talk a little history, because understanding where this coin came from helps explain why it's got collectors flipping out. The Denver Mint cranked out over 300 million of these 1973 D pennies. Yep, millions. So why the heck is one worth over $1 million? Well, here's where it gets juicy. Not all 1973 D pennies are created equal. Some of them were struck with errors, others have rare compositions, and a few freakishly lucky coins were made with copper alloy variations or doubled dies. And get this, there's even a theory floating around that a few were struck with leftover 1972 dies or even experimental planchets that somehow slipped through the cracks. Imagine that, a minting oopsie that turned into a 7-figure payday. Now let me break it down for you with a little story. So picture this, I'm at a garage sale last summer hunting for old video games, and boom, I see this little plastic bag full of old pennies marked $5 total. I grab it mostly out of nostalgia, and because I'm a sucker for loose change, I get home, dump them out on the kitchen table, start scanning through, and bam, I spot a 1973 D penny with a weird shine and just slightly off center. I nearly dropped my root beer. I googled it thinking, yeah, maybe it's worth like $1. Nope, turns out it was a known variety and some dude had sold one just like it for over $200,000. Now mine didn't hit quite that number, but still, let's just say that garage sale paid for a pretty solid weekend trip. Moral of the story, never underestimate the power of loose change and root beer. Anyway, back to our $1 million coin. So what sets the $1.2 million one apart? It's a perfect storm of condition, rarity, and die. Variety number 1, condition. If your penny looks like it took a ride in a blender, sorry, but it's not gonna fetch 7 figures. We're talking MS67 and above, that's mint state for you non-coin nerds, and it means the coin looks as fresh as the day it left the mint. Number 2, rarity. Now again, over 300 million were made, but only a teeny tiny handful have the unique combo of a pristine strike, a rare error, and that sweet copper tone that collectors go bananas for. And number 3, collector demand. This is the secret sauce. Some collectors are obsessed with 70s era coins, and they'll pay serious stacks to get their hands on ultra rare versions, and when bidding wars break out, prices go up and away. Quick tip, if you've got a 1973 D penny, here's what to look for. Check the edges for doubling, look at the date and mint mark, see if there's anything off center or funky. Check the back for strong, sharp Lincoln Memorial lines, and if it shines weird or feels a little different than your average penny, it's definitely worth a second look. And for the love of copper, please do not clean your coins. I repeat, never clean them. Leave the gunk alone, because cleaning a rare penny is like taking a Sharpie to a Picasso. Just don't do it. Now I know what you're thinking, okay, I get it, errors, rarity, shiny things, but what do I do with one if I think I've got a jackpot? Well, first step, take a breath, then take it to a professional coin grader. You've got places like PCGS or NGC who'll give it the once over and confirm what you've got. If it turns out to be the real deal, then it's auction time, baby, and who knows, maybe you'll be the next internet legend who turned a penny into $1 million. And if you do, please buy me a taco. I feel like that's only fair. Let's also chat briefly about value trends, because yes, the $1 million sale was real, but prices can shift depending on market interest, economic factors, and how many similar coins surface. So if you've got one of these coins, hang tight and watch the market, or flip it when the hype is high. Another thing to keep in mind, coin values are heavily influenced by story and provenance. So if you've got a fun backstory like I found this while walking my dog, or my grandma had it stashed in a peanut butter jar, those things sometimes charm collectors even more. And speaking of peanut butter, I once found a 1969 penny glued to the bottom of a peanut butter lid. Long story, but let's just say it was not worth $1 million, and I still haven't forgiven that sandwich. But that's part of the fun, right? Hunting, searching, flipping old coins like little time machines waiting to drop gold into your lap. So what have we learned today, my penny loving pals? The 1973 D Lincoln penny may look ordinary, but in rare cases it's worth a life-changing $1.2 million. It all comes down to condition, rarity, errors, and good old-fashioned luck. Check your change, check your drawers, check that old shoebox at your grandma's place, because that copper beauty might just be your ticket to financial freedom. And hey, if nothing else, it's a fun hobby with a wild community of collectors who totally get excited about things like mint marks and die rotations. Now if You enjoyed this wild ride into penny paradise? Do me a solid, smash that like button gently though, don't scare the coins, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss out on more money making coin tips. We got more $1,000,000 coins, more crazy stories, and maybe even a few more root beer fueled discoveries coming your way. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel where your pocket change could turn into a paycheck and your penny jar might just make you a millionaire. Today we're diving into one of the wildest coin stories out there, the 1966 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Now I know what you're thinking, a penny worth over $1,000,000 sounds like one of those late night infomercial things, right? But hang tight because this one is the real deal. You might have walked right past this little copper coin 1,000 times maybe. You've got one stuck between your couch cushions, maybe it's hanging out with some lint in the backseat of your car, or maybe it's just chilling in that jar of coins you keep swearing you'll take to the bank one day. Let me tell you something, that 1 cent could be worth $1.4 million right now, so grab a drink, sit back, and let's find out how a boring old 1966 Lincoln penny turned into a coin collector's dream and why you should probably start checking your spare change more often. Alright, so let's set the stage. It's 1966, bell-bottoms are in, the Beatles are rocking the airwaves, and the US Mint is going through what I like to call a low-key identity crisis. See, back then the Mint was dealing with a coin shortage, and one of the steps they took to speed things up was to stop putting mint marks on coins from 1965 through 1967, so that's why your 1966 penny doesn't have a little letter under the date, no D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, just a clean no mint mark coin that makes you go, how was this thing forged in Narnia? Now here's where it gets juicy. Not all 1966 pennies were created equal. Most of them are worth exactly 1 cent, maybe 2 if you're lucky, but there's a very specific version of the 1966 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that made headlines recently for selling at a jaw-dropping $1.4 million at auction, and no, they didn't throw in a Ferrari and a free lunch to sweeten the deal, just one coin. So what makes this penny so special? Well, it's all about condition, rarity, and some good old-fashioned errors. First off, the $1 million version of the 1966 penny was in pristine condition. We're talking about a grade known as MS67 Plus Red, which basically means it's so shiny and perfect it looks like it came out of a time machine and skipped every pocket lint party ever. It also had some very subtle but rare strike errors and a clean full detail on Lincoln's face, like you could practically count the whiskers on his beard. Now don't go thinking every 1966 penny is going to buy you a mansion, but even lower grade versions of this coin in mint condition can fetch anywhere from $50 to $500. Not too shabby for something you might find under your car seat. Let me tell you a quick story. A buddy of mine, let's call him Greg, was cleaning out his grandfather's old coin jar, you know, the type covered in dust and questionable mystery stains from the 80s, and he came across a 1966 penny that looked pretty crisp. Now Greg, bless his heart, thought it was just a nice old penny and almost used it to buy a gumball. I stopped him and said, dude, wait, let's look at that thing under a magnifying glass. Turns out it was in really great shape, no scratches, full strike, and guess what? It ended up selling for over $700 on an online auction. Greg bought a PS5 and still had enough left over for tacos. So the lesson here is simple: check your change, people. Now if you're wondering how to tell if your 1966 penny is valuable, here are a few tips. 1. Look for luster. If it still shines like your grandma's silverware, you're on the right track. 2. Check for strong details, especially on Lincoln's face and coat. If it looks like Abe's been through a sandstorm, it's probably not worth a fortune. 3. No scratches or wear. Mint state is where the money lives in. 4. If you're not sure, take it to a coin dealer or get it graded by a professional like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you what you've got and whether it's time to quit your job and live the coin life. Also, just between us, coin collecting is kind of the coolest hobby nobody talks about. I mean, where else can you turn spare change into treasure and call it research? So there you have it, folks, the 1966 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, the little coin that could and sometimes does become a millionaire maker. You might have one sitting in your house right now, and all it takes is a few minutes to check. Remember, coin collecting isn't just for grandpas in their basements anymore. It's for smart, curious folks like you who want to turn knowledge into dollars and have a little fun doing it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button like it owes you money, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more tips on coins worth big bucks, strategies to build your collection, and stories that'll make you rethink every penny you've ever tossed in a fountain. Drop a comment if you've got a cool coin story or if you're about to start raiding your coin jar as soon as this video ends. Hey, welcome back to the channel, Coin Fam. If you've ever dug through your couch cushions, pulled out a handful of change, and thought, there's probably nothing good in here, well, I'm here to blow your mind today, because hiding in plain sight, among all those boring modern pennies, might be a 1949 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. And guess what? That little copper circle could be worth $1.5 million. Yeah, with an M. Million. So before you use it to buy a stick of gum, stick around, because in this video we're diving deep into why this penny is so valuable, what to look for, and how you can spot one in your own change. And hey, I've got a personal story coming up later about how I almost threw away a coin worth more than my car. Yep. True story, but first, Let's get to the good stuff. So let's rewind to 1949. Gas was like 17 cents a gallon. TV was still black and white. And pennies? They were mostly ignored. Just something to flick off a diner table or chuck in a jar, but that same year, the Philadelphia Mint produced a batch of Lincoln pennies, and didn't mark them. Yep, no D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. Just a blank, clean, no-nonsense Lincoln face staring into the distance. Most of those pennies were pretty standard. But a few, oh baby, a few were made with errors, or struck on leftover planchets. Some even had unusual die varieties. These rare versions, especially in mint state condition, have been fetching jaw-dropping prices at auctions. And the cream of the crop? One sold for $1.5 million. That's more than most people's houses. For a penny, alright, let's break it down. There are a few things collectors drool over when it comes to this coin. If it's minty fresh, with no scratches, no fingerprints, no chewing gum residue, the value skyrockets. Some 1949 pennies were struck with doubled dies, or have slight errors like off-center strikes or planchet flaws. Post-World War II era, fewer high-grade coins were saved. Most were used, abused, and lost. So, a crisp, shiny 1949 no-mint mark penny that somehow escaped decades of pockets, piggy banks, and vending machines. That's like finding a unicorn riding a Segway, and collectors will fight to the death. Okay, maybe just outbid politely. To own one. First, grab a magnifying glass. Or if you're like me, borrow your grandma's reading glasses. Whatever works. Super crisp features, Lincoln's coat, beard, cheekbone, all looking chiseled. Any unusual doubling in the letters Liberty or In God We Trust. That could mean a doubled die, clean rim. No nicks, no dents. Sharp edges or a green flag. A color that's either rich copper red or a strange shade. These odd toning effects can sometimes mean unique metallurgy. And if you find one in perfect condition, don't clean it. Seriously. Cleaning a coin is like cutting your own hair before prom. Just don't do it. So a few years back, I was helping my dad clean out the garage. You know the drill, dusty boxes, old tools, spiders everywhere. And I found this big jar of change. Probably 10 pounds of pennies. I'm talking metallic mountain now. Me being the brilliant adult that I am, I dumped them into a Coinstar machine at the grocery store. I got $37. Felt rich for 5 minutes. Then a week later, I'm browsing this coin forum, and someone posts a 1949 penny they found in a jar that looked exactly like some of the ones I dumped. It had no mint mark. It had a doubling error. It sold $4.85000. To this day, I have a fantasy that one of the people behind me in line at the grocery store cashed in my $1 million penny. And if you're watching this video, I forgive you. Kinda. If you've got a jar of old change collecting dust, or you find yourself counting out pennies at the gas station, don't overlook the 1949 no mint mark penny. It might look like any other coin, but it could literally be your $1 million moment. Seriously, imagine paying off your mortgage with a single penny. That's like financial judo, and the best part? These coins are still out there, waiting to be found. Could be in your change. Could be in your grandma's purse. Could be in that sketchy little tray at the laundromat. And hey, if you like this video, if you learned something new, or if you just enjoy hearing about coins worth more than cars, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and ring the bell so you never miss another tip on coins that could change your life. I've got more videos coming your way about pennies, nickels, dimes, heck, even coins from the 90s that are worth a fortune. Trust me, you do not want to miss them. Thanks for watching, stay curious, stay lucky, and may your next penny be the $1 million one. Hey there folks, welcome back to the channel where pocket change might just make you a millionaire. Now let me ask you a question. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? I mean really looked at it, like not just tossed it in the cup holder of your car or dropped it in that one drawer in the kitchen that holds batteries, expired coupons, and maybe a random key to a lock you don't even own anymore. Well, today you might want to take a second look, because that plain old copper-colored penny sitting in your couch cushions could be worth a jaw-dropping, heart-racing hold my coffee $1.6 million. That's right, you heard me, one penny, $1.6 million, and we're talking about a very specific one today, the 1998 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This isn't just any coin folks, this is the unicorn of loose change. Now grab a snack, settle in, and let me tell you why this little copper-colored hero is making big noise in the coin collecting world. Alright, let's set the stage. It's 1998. The Backstreet Boys are topping the charts. The internet is just starting to ruin everyone's attention span, and pennies are still kind of relevant. The US Mint is cranking out coins as usual. Some come from Philadelphia, some from Denver, some from San Francisco. But then there's this sneaky little guy, the 1998 Lincoln penny without a mint mark. Now, for the uninitiated, coins usually have a little letter that tells you where they were made. A P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, S for San Francisco. But the no mint mark penny, well, that usually means it was minted in Philly. But here's the kicker: not all no mint mark pennies are created equal. There's this one 1998 penny that got the attention of serious collectors, and for good reason. It was perfectly struck with a flawless finish. It had an incredibly rare die error, and get this, it was graded at a near impossible MS-70. That's mint lingo for mint state perfection. So a while back I'm at this flea market, right, browsing through bins of old baseball cards, vinyl records, the usual junk, when I come across this little velvet coin pouch. Inside I find a handful of pennies. Most of them are scratched up, worn out, and honestly look like they've survived a world war. But tucked in the middle is this shiny 1998 penny. I joke with the seller, hey, maybe this one's worth $1 million. But guess what? That same night I went home, looked it up out of pure curiosity, and boom, I stumble upon an article talking about the 1998 no mint mark penny potentially selling at auction for over $1.5 million. My jaw hit the floor. I scrambled to find that coin again, but by the time I got back to the flea market, that guy and his velvet pouch were gone. Never saw him again. I still think about that penny like an ex who got away. The 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny is valued at $1.6 million in top condition. Why? That rare die variety, perfect centering, and the fact that only a handful of them have ever been graded at MS-70 by professional services like PCGS and NGC. Most 1998 pennies are worth, well, a penny, maybe a few bucks in high-grade condition, but this one, it's like winning the coin lottery. Collectors will pay top dollar for something that's rare, pristine, and historically significant. That's why coins like this shoot up in value. And let me tell you, it's not just about rare metals or errors. Sometimes it's just the right combination of fluke, timing, condition, and a little numismatic magic. Now you might be wondering, okay, cool, but how do I know if I have one? Great question. Here's a checklist. First, pull out that magnifying glass or use your phone camera, zoom in real close. A super sharp strike that looks unusually crisp for a penny. Zero visible wear under magnification, meaning it might qualify as MS-67 or higher. And if it seems special, take it to a local coin dealer, or better yet, send it into a grading service. But don't just send it to your cousin Dave, who collects bottle caps and thinks he's an expert on everything. Send it to the professionals. Let them take a look, because even if your penny isn't worth $1.6 million, it might still be worth hundreds or thousands. And I don't know about you, but I wouldn't mind making rent money off a coin I found in the laundry room. Quick tip while we're on it: always check your change. Seriously, I've heard stories of people finding valuable coins in tip jars, vending machines, and even on the sidewalk. You just never know. And here's something funny: I once asked my grandma if she had any old coins. She handed me a cookie tin full of pennies. I thought I hit the jackpot, but turns out they were all from 2006 and sticky with what I can only describe as 100% grandma mystery syrup. Still, I checked every single one. You never know, right? The 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth $1.6 million. Always check your change pockets and cookie tins, because treasure might be hiding in plain sight. And most importantly, even the tiniest coin can make a big splash in the collecting world. If you found this video helpful or at least mildly entertaining, do me a solid and smash that subscribe button, hit the bell so you never miss a chance to learn about another coin that might make you rich. Drop a comment if you've got any weird or wild coin stories. I love hearing them. And hey, next time someone tries to tell you a penny is worthless, you tell them about this one. Hey there, treasure hunters and pocket change detectives, welcome back to the channel where your spare change might just change your life. I'm so glad you're here, because today we're diving into a coin that might be jingling in your couch cushions or hiding at the bottom of a jar in grandma's kitchen. We're talking about the 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Yep, that unassuming little brown coin with Abe Lincoln's face on it. That same one you probably flicked across a tabletop or dropped in a vending machine without a second thought. But get this, one of these bad boys recently made headlines because it sold for a jaw-dropping, and I mean knock your socks off, $1.7 million. That's right, 1 penny 1 cent, one coppery circle of destiny, worth more than most people's houses. So grab your coffee or your favorite snack, get comfy, and let's dig into why this humble penny is now a millionaire and how you might just have one too. Alright, first, let's clear up the basics. What is a 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny? Well, it's a regular looking penny minted in Philadelphia, which typically doesn't use a mint mark. That's why you won't see a little S or D under the date on the front, just good ol' Abe chillin' under 1978. Now here's where it gets interesting. Millions of these pennies were made in 78, but the $1 million ones, they've got some serious drama going on. You see, it's not just the year that makes it special, it's the combination of condition, rarity, and often a delicious mistake. We call an error coin, think double dies off center strikes or pennies made on the wrong metal planchet. That's when things start to get spicy in the coin world. There was this one collector, let's call him Dave because I like the name Dave. He was just going through his old coin jar one boring Saturday afternoon, nothing to do, too much rain for mowing the lawn, not enough motivation to clean the garage, so he grabs a flashlight and a magnifying glass and goes full treasure hunter, and bam, he finds this 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny that looked a little too crisp, a little too shiny, and when he tilted it in the light he saw something funky going on with the lettering. The letters looked doubled, a classic case of a double die error. Long story short, Dave sends it off to get graded. It comes back a pristine MS67 red with a verified double die reverse. The guy practically passed out from excitement. That same penny ended up at auction, and you guessed it, it went for a cool $1.7 million. Imagine telling your friends you paid off your house with a penny from a sock drawer. That's a flex right there. First, grab a 1978 penny, check if there's no mint mark. That's your starting point. Next, look at the color. A bright reddish hue is a good sign. It means less oxidation and higher chances of a good grade. Then whip out a magnifying glass or use your phone camera, zoom way in and check for doubling on the date and the words like Liberty and in God we trust. It might look like a weird shadow or slightly blurry letters. That's the magic. Also flip it over and look at the Lincoln Memorial line. Should be sharp and clean. If it looks like Lincoln sitting in a melted chocolate bar, it might not be your jackpot, but if it's sharp and the details pop, you're in business. Now let's address the elephant in the room. No, not that you haven't vacuumed under your couch in 3 months. I'm talking about condition. Grading is everything. In 1978 penny in rough shape might get you a cup of coffee at best, but the same coin in mint state with a rare error, that's your ticket to a better life and maybe a new ride while you're at IT. I remember once I thought I struck gold. I found a 1978 penny that looked decent. I ran around the house like I'd just won the lottery. I even called my cousin to tell him I was rich. Turns out it had green gunk on it and a scratch that looked like someone tried to carve a heart in it. So yeah, not a millionaire yet, but that day I learned a ton and had a blast searching. That's half the fun, right? So now you're probably wondering, how do I get my penny graded? There are professional services like PCGS and NGC. You package your coin, send it in, and let the pros examine it with all their fancy microscopes and white gloves. And if your coin comes back with a high grade and an error, you better start planning your next vacation or maybe your early retirement. But a word of warning, not every 1978 penny is worth a fortune. It's the combo of condition and rarity. Errors are your golden ticket. And don't clean your coins seriously. I know it's tempting to polish them up and make them shine, but collectors want them as scratches from cleaning can drop the value faster than you can say. Numismatics. Now let's go over some tips to help you find that special penny. 1. Check your change every day. You'd be surprised how often rare coins pop up in circulation. 2. Hit up garage sales, flea markets, and estate sales. You never know when someone's tossing away a collection they don't understand. 3. Network with other collectors, Facebook groups, local coin shows, online forums. The more eyes you have out there, the better your chances. 4. Invest in a good magnifier and a coin book. Trust me, it's worth it. And make sure you store your good finds in protective holders away from moisture and sticky fingers. And 5. Patience and persistence. Like fishing, you might sit there for hours and catch nothing but bottle caps, but one day you'll hook that $1 million marlin. We started with humble little penny from 1978. No mint mark. Looks ordinary, feels ordinary, but as we've seen, sometimes the most unassuming things hide the greatest value. Just like your Aunt Martha's casserole that looks weird but tastes amazing. So if you're sitting there thinking, nah, I'll never find a valuable coin, remember Dave from earlier. He wasn't a professional collector, he was just bored on a Saturday with a jar full of pennies. Your $1 million moment could be just one penny away, so go on, start hunting. Look through your pockets, check your car console, raid your kids' piggy bank with permission, of course, and who knows, maybe one day you'll be the one sending me a message saying, dude, I found it. If you enjoyed this video and you want more tips, tricks, and juicy stories about coins worth crazy money, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Give this video a like if you learned something new or just had a good laugh, and hey, hit the bell icon so you never miss a chance to turn your spare change into serious cash. Hey there, coin hunters and accidental millionaires in the making. Ever dropped a penny and thought, nah, not worth picking up? Well, imagine if that 1-cent coin was actually worth $1.8 million. Yeah. Million. With an M. Now you're diving under the couch cushions, aren't you? Today we're diving deep into the wild world of the 1969 Lincoln penny. It's the coin that could literally flip your fortune if you happen to find one sitting at the bottom of a dusty jar. So grab your coffee or your coin collection or both and stick around, because you won't believe what makes this little copper coin so outrageously valuable. Alright, so let's break this down. The 1969 penny looks super ordinary, right? Like just another one of those brownish little things that live in the dark corners of your wallet. But here's the twist. Some of these pennies are secretly living double lives. Think Clark Kent meets coin collecting. Now the D on this penny stands for Denver, which is where it was minted. And in 1969 they cranked out over 4 billion of these suckers. Yeah, with AB. So why in the world would anyone drop almost $2 million on one? Here's the juicy bit. It all comes down to a few magical words in coin collecting land: die, variety, and doubling. Basically, there's a rare version of the 1969 penny with doubling on the front. Lincoln's face, the date, the word liberty, and even in God we trust all look a bit off, like they partied too hard the night before and are seeing double now. Here's the kicker. The 1969 doubled die you've probably heard about actually doesn't have a mint mark. But the 1969 D penny with the right combination of features, including a rare error or unusual die condition, can fetch an astronomical price, especially if it's in pristine condition. We're talking mint state red, brown, or full red luster. That's collector gold right there, even though it's literally copper. So imagine this: you're at a yard sale, you see a jar of coins for like $3. You take it home mostly hoping there's enough quarters in there for tacos. But boom, you find a shiny little 1969 D penny. You Google it for fun and your heart stops. You match it with pictures online. You get it graded and authenticated. And next thing you know, you're on the phone with an auction house with dollar signs in your eyes and tears in your throat. A few years ago, my Uncle Joe, real old school guy, still uses a flip phone and calls it high tech, was cleaning out his garage. He hands me this dusty old Folgers coffee can filled with coins and goes, "Here you go, kid, maybe you'll find something useful." I'm thinking maybe a quarter for parking or a penny to chuck in the wishing fountain. Turns out that can had a 1969 D penny with a sharp strike and some seriously suspicious doubling. Now mine didn't turn out to be the super rare variety, but it did send me down a rabbit hole of researching and coin collecting like a caffeinated raccoon. And the rest is history. You see, this whole hobby isn't just for old dudes with magnifying glasses anymore. Anyone can stumble on these hidden gems. It's like treasure hunting but without the pirates and with way more. Linde verified rare 1969 D penny in mint condition can go for up to $1.8 million. And no, that's not some made-up eBay listing. That's auction house official. Of course the condition matters a ton. If it's scratched or looks like it survived a tornado, it won't bring in the big bucks. But if you've got one in great shape with the right features and it's graded by the pros, we're talking about a coin that's worth more than some people's houses. Doubling on the obverse, that's the front of the coin. Check the date, the motto, and Lincoln's profile. That little D mint mark below the date, gotta be there. Clean surface, minimal wear, and that beautiful copper color, especially if it's classified as red by graders. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC before you start planning your mansion purchase. Like seriously. That penny you got back with your gas station gum might be your ticket to early retirement. Start hoarding coins. Not like a squirrel in winter, but with a little bit of strategy. Get a magnifier. Make it fun. You'll be surprised what people accidentally spend without knowing. Alright, my fellow coin crusaders, that's the story of the humble little 1969 D Lincoln penny that might just be your hidden jackpot. Who knew Abe Lincoln had millionaire potential hiding in your pocket all this time? So here's the deal. Check your change. Dig into those coffee cans. Call your grandma. Raid your piggy bank. And above all, keep your eyes peeled, because the next $1 million coin could be sitting quietly at the bottom of your couch cushion, just waiting for someone like you to notice it. If you enjoyed this video and you want more awesome tips on how to turn pocket change into serious cash, make sure you smash that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you don't miss out on more hidden coin treasures. We've got tons of coin hacks, collecting strategies, and epic finds coming your way. And hey, drop a comment if you've got a rare coin story or you think you found something special. I love hearing your tales, and who knows, maybe you'll be featured in the next video. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where coins aren't just spare change, they're tiny little lottery tickets hiding in plain sight. If you ever thought that penny you dropped on the ground wasn't worth bending over for, oh buddy, after today's video you might just start carrying a metal detector everywhere you go. Today we are diving deep into a true hidden gem, the 1997 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, you heard that right, a penny from 1997 with a little d under the date could be worth not just a couple of bucks, not just a couple $100, but a jaw-dropping, wallet-exploding, heart attack-inducing $1.8 million. Yeah, you might want to check under your couch cushions after this one, so grab a snack, get comfy, because we are going on a wild ride through how this everyday-looking coin could change your life and maybe, just maybe, make you a millionaire. First things first, what the heck is the 1997 D Lincoln penny, and why is it so special? In 1997, the Denver Mint produced Billions and billions of Lincoln pennies, so on the surface nothing sounds rare, right? In fact, if you dumped out all the pennies in America, you'd probably find a few hundred from 1997 pretty easily. But here's the twist: not all pennies are created equal. Somewhere deep in the production process, a few errors and special strikes slipped through. These were mistakes, but the good kind of mistakes, the kind of mistakes that collectors go absolutely nuts for. Now, before you run out and start flipping over every penny in your piggy bank, you gotta know what to look for. What makes the 1997 Lincoln penny so valuable? Well, it all comes down to a combination of things. First, minting errors. There are examples of double die obverse where Lincoln's face and the lettering look slightly doubled. If your penny has that kind of effect, congratulations, you might be sitting on a fortune. Second condition: if your penny looks like it just came off the mint floor, shiny, bright red, flawless under a microscope. Collectors call that MS70, which means mint state perfect condition. That's the holy grail. Third, rarity. Only a tiny handful of these near perfect error coins are known to exist today. That means supply is microscopic while demand from rich coin nerds is sky high. In other words, it's like finding a unicorn riding a rainbow while eating a taco. So a few years ago, I'm at this flea market just poking around, looking for old records, maybe some vintage video games, and I see this giant jar of old coins sitting on a dusty little table. The guy selling it looks half asleep, probably dreaming about a tropical vacation. I ask him, hey, how much for the jar? He shrugs and says $5. I'm like, sold, didn't even haggle. So I get home and start sifting through it while shoving tacos into my face, because multitasking is important, people. And would you believe it, I found a shiny 1997 penny that looked suspiciously perfect. Now, unfortunately, it wasn't the $1 million baby, but it did end up being worth about $50, which bought me about 30 more tacos. So really, that was a win. You see, the point is these valuable coins can be hiding literally anywhere: garage sales, flea markets, your grandma's coffee can. If you were lucky enough to find one of these special pennies, here's what you should do. First, don't clean it. Seriously, do not touch it with anything other than cotton gloves. Coins are like vampires, they hate being cleaned, it destroys their value. Second, take it to a professional grader. Companies like PCGS or NGC will officially grade your coin and slap it in a fancy plastic holder with its grade and value on it. That's when you can start getting those sweet offers from collectors. And third, get ready to either cash out big time or hold on to it and watch its value go up over the years like fine wine, or that one Beanie Baby you regret selling in 1999. Now, the current market value for a top quality 1997 Lincoln penny is a staggering $1.8 million. That's more than some houses. That's more than 5 Ferraris. That's more than enough tacos to feed a small country. Collectors today are desperate to find these few surviving examples, which is driving the price through the roof. Auctions are getting heated. People are flying across the country just to bid on these babies. You could literally turn 1 cent into $1.8 million. That's like investing in Bitcoin, except you don't have to explain what blockchain is to your grandma. And let's be real, showing someone your $1 million penny is way cooler than trying to brag about your crypto wallet. But seriously, why does a little copper coin have so much value? Well, it's about history, scarcity, and the magic of human error combined with mint perfect condition. It's that simple and that complicated. So if you find a 1997 penny that looks a little weird, super shiny, or just too good to be true, get it checked out, because you could be sitting on life-changing money. Alright folks, that's the story of the 1997 Abraham Lincoln penny, the little coin that could make you rich beyond rich, taco empire level rich. Hopefully today's video opened your eyes a little to the possibilities hiding in plain sight in your change jar. So here's what I want you to do the next time you get handed a handful of pennies. Don't roll your eyes, check them out, you might just spot your golden ticket. And hey, if you liked today's ride through the wild world of valuable pennies, and if you want more tips on how to find rare coins worth big money, strategies to boost your collection, and a few more goofy stories from my life, then smash that subscribe button like it owes you money. Turn on those notifications because you do not want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Happy hunting out there, and remember, sometimes it only takes one lucky penny to change your life.